It's your week. You really outdid yourself like a crazy super jerk. You're probably a big jerk every week, but this week you're the jerk of the week.
Alrighty, welcome back.
This isn't the middle of the episode.
Yeah.
That's what you think is going on.
Because it's going to go straight to, what are those? You're the jerk. No, we didn't mess up the recording. We're switching it up on purpose. So here's to episode 17, my friend.
Cheers.
Cheers. Clink. It hits the spot.
Yeah, it's good shit.
So, episode 17, we're going to go straight into it. Jerk of the week. And Teach, you said you had one?
Mine was kind of... No, I'm going to pass this one.
You're going to pass? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You just say it was petty, so...
Yeah, it was pretty petty.
I love pettiness, so...
Maybe I'll bring it up later.
Okay.
Maybe if it bugs me somewhere. I just kind of got over it. So, but like 2 hours ago, I was like, man, I can't wait to fucking talk about this piece of shit. But
Right. No problem. I have a jerk of the week, and it just happened tonight, so... And I was literally thinking, I was like, man, I don't have a jerk of the week. Like, no rude drivers, like, nobody at work, no nothing. It's like, okay, here we go. So, as of right now, I'm wearing my Bullet Club Young Bucks t-shirt, which the Young Bucks are part of the Bullet Club, which is a wrestling tag team from Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, PWG, right? Y'all may or may not know I'm a huge wrestling fan. So, I'm in line at H-E-B. I'm buying my alcoholic beverages to prepare for tonight's recording. Guy taps me in the back of the shoulder. Hey, what's all this Bullet Club stuff that I see everybody wearing? I'm like, oh, it's a tag team. I was like, they're very popular. I was like, they got a merchandising deal with Hot Topic. So that's why a lot of people are getting it now. Because before you had to order it online and it takes forever to ship. Because I have a Kenny Omega shirt that got shipped from Japan. So it's like, and it took
this is
forever.
at H-E-B, right?
This is at H-E-B today. And the guy goes, oh, okay. You know wrestling's fake, right?
How old is this guy?
This guy has to be older than me, like
What's
in his 30s.
this guy's demographic?
This guy looked like he was in his 30s, or maybe 20s, he's just a smoker or something, because his face was really, like, just looked older.
Yeah.
Shaved
lotion
head.
up, fellas. Lotion up.
For real. Shaved head, about my height, maybe like an inch or two taller, kind of heavier set, and he's a Mexican guy.
Oh, okay.
He's like, you know wrestling's fake, right?
I got the mindset of this guy.
I was like...
I can see where he's coming from.
So I look back at him, and I'm just like, yeah, I know. Well, if it's fake, why are you watching it? Like, it's entertaining.
It's a pretty intimate question.
I was like, it's entertaining. I was like, I really enjoyed it. Watched it since I was younger and just stuck with it. I was like, it's cool to me. Oh, I just don't know how people can watch fake things. I'm like, well, you're wearing a Game of Thrones shirt. I'm like, you know Game of Thrones is fake, right? Well, yeah, but this is different. It's like a TV show. And I'm like... Monday Night Raw and SmackDown are TV shows. They're just live. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's not a sport. I'm like, oh, my friend. I was like, yeah, the wrestling is on TV. Yeah, that's not considered a sport, but you have to be very athletic to be doing that. No, he's like, you don't have to. I'm like, yeah, you do. I was like, there's been tons of athletes from like the NFL, NBA, and stuff that tried to go into WWE, but couldn't keep up with it because they're not in shape like these wrestlers are.
Right.
Well, I don't know. It's not that big a deal. If it's not a big deal, why did you have to throw it in my face that wrestling's fake?
Like, I'm obviously into it. I'm wearing the shirt.
Yeah,
like, you knew I was going to have something to say about that if you bring this up.
And so he's just like, well, I just didn't think you were going to turn it into a thing. And I was like, no, I just don't like people telling me wrestling's fake. And I was like, if you don't like it, you don't like it. I love it. And I was like, and I'm going to wear t-shirts. I'm like, I'm spending my money on things I like. So I'm wearing this t-shirt. It's like, if you just had a question on the t-shirt, I answered it. There. He's like, man, dude. He's all like mumbling shit behind his... Paid for my fruity drinks, and I leave. I left the H-E-B. I was like, man, What a dick!
That is a dick move.
Don't come at me.
That's
Like,
really weird.
I was like, oh yeah, reality TV is fake too.
Yeah,
I was like, it's, they do things like that.
Did you know
Kitchen
you
Nightmares.
can't really pick up a girl and sleep with her on the bus for $500?
Right.
It's all fake.
It's not real, pal.
Yeah.
It's like, you think Jersey Shore, they have that kind of money?
Right.
No, MTV was paying for those people in the clubs. Like, get
I'm
outta here.
skeptical of all media anyways. Like, even Mrs. Teach likes this radio show called Brooke and Jubal in the Morning on 94.1, I think. And they have this segment that it's the second date update where people email the show because they went on like a date and now they can't get a call back and they'll call the person back. And it's always, they're actually really intricate, but I swear up and down they have to be fake. Right?
Yeah.
What are the odds that there's that many people wanting to put their business out there, and that they're so intricate? Like, but Mr. Teacher refuses. Just like, these are real. Can't you hear how genuine they're? Like,
see, like, that's
they're
the thing.
actors. They're good. They're
That's
good
the
at
thing
it
too, because I listened to the Billy Madison show, 99.5 in the morning.
That one might be pretty, and they don't really have skits like that though, right?
No, they don't. They're
kind of like our show.
kind of.
This is not staged, you guys. This is all
I
raw.
was like, this is real, uncut, unfiltered.
Yeah, raw.
Right. Ugh. But whatchamacallit, like, so for the longest time, because I was just like, man, this shit has to be fake, because there's a guy on there named Nard who's like kind of like the dumbass of the group.
The douche.
Yeah, pretty much. And so like they're always playing pranks on him, they're always hurting him, but it just sounds over exaggerated because the other guys are laughing. He's like, oh my god, and like if they're showing him gross things, he's like,
Yeah. So it's super.
so I was
embellished.
like, I'm like, man, okay, these guys, okay, whatever. But they actually Facebook Live this shit.
Oh, that's really just how it is.
And that's really, I'm like, oh wow, Nard is a dumbass. So I'm like, oh, what do you know?
But even in that sense, he could have been playing it up too
Exactly.
on the video.
But it was kind of cool to see, like, oh yeah, like there was a skit where or not a skit, but there was a segment where he lost some bet and they tattooed nipples on his butt cheeks. Like each cheek got one nipple, and then they pierced the nipples. I was like, they did not do that. I was like, this guy is not that dumb
That
to
sounds
permanently
like
get
an
nipples.
infection waiting to happen.
Yeah, so I was like, that's stupid. No, this fool really got nipples tattooed on him, and then the next week they literally put piercings in those nipples.
Well, if they're showing it too, then
I was like,
that's legit.
I was like, damn, okay.
But even that stuff, I believe that more than, because that's like jackass stuff, and there's a big profit for that. Like that is someone that's a part of the show that's obviously about the show, and it just depends on how far he's willing to go. And of course, he's willing to go because he makes money off this.
Yeah,
how many random couples have such interesting stories every day of the week of misconnections, of this went wrong versus this went wrong, or this, and it's always very. It's never like a boring one. It's like, oh fuck, my phone's been dead. Like,
right.
cool,
I had to
glad
get a
you
new
got
phone.
back to me. Love to go on a second date. Like, how many times did that? It's always like, oh well, actually, you were sad about your cat going missing, so I decided to look around your whole neighborhood and got hit by an ambulance. And I've been in a hospital for a month. And I couldn't get to you. And it's like, well, I want to date you. It's like, well, I want to date you too. It's like, no. Like, that's a great story. I mean, it's good radio. I like listening to it on the way to work, if I'm not listening to David Wayne Clare and The Teach. But, but it's fucking fake. So my trick of the week, I'm gonna.
He's all fuck it, I'm doing it.
Yeah, fuck it. It's no big deal actually, but it's two. It's actually another guy on Facebook, and actually my mom, just because she's funny. But so actually, my mom was actually one of the people I usually block. I have on that list of block just because I love her to death, but Facebook and parents is just a pain in the ass because they always comment stupid shit or get after me with stupid shit. So, anyways, I posted a thing today about San Antonio, about why we love San Antonio, and all these cool things about it. I personally don't like the Riverwalk. Never liked it. I grew up going to the Riverwalk. It's a pain in the ass. It's touristy. It's busy.
The sidewalks are too thin.
The river's green. The food is not even really good, and it's super fucking expensive.
Yes.
Forget about getting drinks. I don't like the Riverwalk. So, and of course, the San Antonio montage is going to have the Riverwalk in it. Right. So, my only disclaimer is like, I fucking hate the Riverwalk, but the Riverwalk. But otherwise, it's all good. And one of these guys mentions me, comments, what did he say? He's just like, you hate the Riverwalk. like, how can you hate the river? It's beautiful. Have you noticed how beautiful now? And I just put, the river's green, the food's not even good, and it's super expensive. I go, and the thing is that he's from Kerrville, so I don't count that as San Antonio.
No,
But-
yeah.
So I was
Kerrville.
like, you know, if you're from San Antonio, I get it because he grew up in Kerrville, which they look up to San Antonio because we're like the big city next to them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So of course everything that you can come to San Antonio and do is cool. So I just put, you know, if you're from here, it gets played out and it's not fun. You don't go there
I
for a
agree.
good time. He goes, well, I am from here and I do think it's a good time and I think you're just cynical. And I went, you can think whatever you want to. And I just put a thumbs up. Like, that's cool. And then he posted back. He was like, I mean, have you been to the King Williams to whatever? And I was like, dude, that's like the bougiest place. Like, no, I haven't been there. Like, that's not even part of San Antonio to me. Like, that's the even worse.
The
more
Kings
tourist-
William district?
King William,
King
yeah.
William
What did I say?
district? No, you said it right, but I'm
King
slurring my
William.
words.
Yeah, King William District. You know, it's I have been there, but it's not like that's definitely not somewhere I'm like, you know, it'd be a nice day to go walk around this bougie ass, snooty ass white people part of San Antonio. Like, anyways, and then my mom, so he's just my joker because I put that's the bougiest part of town. You know, one of the parts of town. And also, I go, dude, you can like the Riverwalk. It's totally okay. Like,
Right.
I don't know what we're arguing about here. Like, I just don't. You're not gonna convince me on Facebook that I like. You
Ooh.
know what? I fucking love the Riverwalk. Thank you.
You've opened
Like,
my eyes now.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to tell you like it's the worst thing in the world. You need to hate it. I just don't like it. You don't have to. And then my mom puts on there like and she's trying to be funny, but it was just annoying because I'm already fighting with this guy.
Right.
And then she chimes in and is like, I don't know where I went wrong. Raising you know you have to drink before you go there. Let me show you how it's done if you can't do it. I'm like, oh. So I deleted her comment quickly because I'm like, I hope this piece of shit doesn't read that. My mom fucking siding with her, which she's never gone to the Riverwalk. Like, growing up, I've never seen her go to the Riverwalk, so I don't know where that comes from. Like, anyways, so she's a drink of the week too.
Man.
So here's the thing: is that I am not Facebook. You know, you post shit, get ready for people to talk about it, right? The only thing is like I purposely don't post hot topics on my personal Facebook because I don't like to argue about shit.
Yeah.
This is not even one of those topics. This is just me saying, right? And someone still has to fucking chime in with their it's like, get the fuck off my post if you don't
for
agree
real.
with it. Now, this platform though, you know, if y'all like the Riverwalk, email us, let us know how much it's dope.
Right.
And if you hate it, tell me how much I'm right. I mean, like, either way, this is the where I would like your input. On Facebook, on my personal page, I don't give a fuck. But,
Right.
So,
No,
anyway,
yeah.
so there you go. Jerry Weird.
Well, no, yeah, the Riverwalk. I mean, it's gonna hold some kind of sentimental value because that's where I proposed to Leslie.
Sure.
I proposed to Leslie on the Riverwalk.
Sure.
But yes, it's green water.
Mm-hmm.
It's
We're not
it's not the best. No, I mean, mostly just because it was just like, oh, it just looked really romantic. There was this one spot that had a bench and a street light thing, one of those lamppost things, and I was like, yeah, this looks nice. I want to propose
Yeah.
right here. So there's that, but it's like, yeah.
But you don't usually go there for like to hang out.
No,
like, you know, and it's for a special occasion. I know when I have people in town that are visiting, you know, I will take them, and that's the only time I'll go is because if you're in San Antonio, you gotta see the Riverwalk because that's part of the culture. But I never go, and if I have friends that have been already, like my friends in Austin that come down, and sometimes someone will suggest me, you want to go try the river? I'm like, fuck no. You know you don't want to go. Why do you, just because you haven't been here a long time, you know you don't want to go. Like, and I don't want to go either.
And they gotta pay for parking downtown.
You gotta pay for
and then
parking.
it's like,
It's horrible. It's
Yeah.
fucking horrible. It's the worst.
yeah, boo, Riverwalk,
So,
boo.
yeah, but, you know, I get it. I get why I was on there. I get why I was on the montage. I get why
Right.
it was, you know, people do special things there, but I ain't going to chill at the Riverwalk. It's fucking...
See, it's funny you bring that up because I started doing Lyft, the ride-sharing app.
Oh, yeah.
Because I used to do Uber a couple years ago, so now I'm doing Lyft just to make some extra money because we're going to WrestleMania soon, so it's in a couple weeks. So I want to try to get as much money as I can. Today I picked up this older white lady and this older black lady, and they were
Together?
in town. Yeah, they're same. They're like, they said they were in San Antonio for some training thing or whatever, right? The white lady was from Nebraska, and the black lady was from North Carolina. And so they were like, oh, well, we're only here in San Antonio for training. We're going to go to the Alamo. That's where I was taking them. which I was like, fuck, I'm going downtown.
Yeah.
I hate driving downtown, especially in rush hour traffic.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
Actually, but what, today?
Today, yeah.
But it's very good because it's spring break, so there's not a lot of people.
Yeah,
But
traffic
anyways.
wasn't super bad, but then...
But I know what you mean. I know
Yeah.
that connotation. With
So it's kind of
downtown
like,
traffic.
fuck. So they were all like, oh, so what's there to do at the Alamo? And I'm like, I was
Check
like...
out the basement.
Right. I was like, honestly, it's mostly like a big old gift shop that's inside of it. I was like, they have like tons of Alamo stuff in it.
Yeah.
And they have guys that dress up like they're old timey, pioneer people.
Uh-huh.
I was like, but
Shit, I haven't been to the Alamo since I was in grade school.
Yeah, I was like-
elementary school.
it's like, yeah, same. Like it's been years since I've been, and so I was just like, but I was like, really, it's the outside that a lot of people just want to take the
historic
picture
value.
of. And they're like, oh, that's true. And she goes, and the lady in the back, the black lady, was all like, well, what about the Riverwalk and what's there to do on the Riverwalk and this and that? And I was like,
No, can we go tubing?
Right.
Like, no.
I was just like, I was like, there's a lot of good restaurants. I was like, but I mean, it's really pricey. I was like,
I don't
really,
even
you're
like
just.
the food. I don't even think
Yeah.
it's good there.
I was like, you're really just paying for the ambiance. And I was like, and really, there's like a lot of those novelty type restaurants like Dick's,
Right.
Rainforest Cafe, Margaritaville,
Right.
Hooters. I was like, they really have just those kind of things, which is pretty much just kind of like, oh, you're a tourist, come eat here.
How many San Antonians do you see at the Riverwalk? Not a lot.
Not a lot,
Like,
yeah. I think I maybe run into like 2 friends my whole life that are like,
Yeah.
hey, you're downtown too.
Well, I
Oh.
never see people post hanging out the Riverwalk. It's always like
With a
maybe
drink.
like lunch. I know my the attorneys and stuff for lunch because we work right next to the Riverwalk.
Right.
But they don't. When they're not around there, they're not coming downtown to go to the Riverwalk.
They're not on their day off.
Right,
Let me
let's
go
go
over
back to
here.
Riverwalk.
Like, how can I waste 4 hours? So let me
Have you seen Pee Wee's Adventure?
Pee Wee Herman?
Yeah,
When he came to
the-
the Alamo?
The movie.
Yeah, no, I haven't
Okay.
seen it, but I know
Oh, okay.
there's something
I
in
was
the Alamo, right?
There's the reference of he's looking for the basement. There's no basement in the Alamo. So and anyways, okay.
Anyway.
I figured you didn't get the reference, or maybe I didn't make it clear, but it was that you didn't get it. So
It's okay.
I couldn't have it lost. I just had to explain it. So.
Right. But yeah, so Teach is actually more prepared than me today. I didn't prep. So he's got some stories lined up. You go ahead, take
wanna do
away.
it?
You're
Okay.
you're going to be the lead today.
All right. Yeah, there was a few I just thought was interesting. So y'all remember last week or the last episode we mentioned about drug
Ooh, yes.
commercials and this and that.
PSAs and whatnot.
And what sparked that was the aspect of a woman gouging her own eyes out, high on meth, and now she's going on a tour. As far as to awareness of drug abuse, right?
That's just so insane. I would cry if hey kids, don't be like me.
So
Oh.
yeah, I don't think it's like
Takes
quite
off her
like that,
glasses.
yeah.
Oh, look what I've done.
You're like,
Oh.
if you want to try meth, look at this.
Right? Because I can't see.
Yeah.
I can't see
I'm
it.
not sure if it's that intense of a.
I would like to imagine that it is that intense.
So first of all, did you see who the girl looked like?
That's
Right?
before, clearly.
This is before, right? Because she has eyes.
Does it show post gouge?
No,
Oh.
but she's 20 years old too. So there's just a little more information on the story. She's 20 years old, so that's satisfying. And what had happened was, she thought was happening was, she felt, okay, let's see here. Let's see, maybe I should read it.
Yeah, read it. So this is straight from the page.
Yeah. Okay, ready? So, quote. Her name was Kaylee. Quote. I thought everyone who had died was stuck in their graves, that God was up in heaven alone, and that I had to sacrifice something important to be able to release everyone in the world to God. It made the world darker and took everything I believed in and distorted them to make me go down the path to pulling out my eyes. It was scary. I didn't understand what God wanted of me, but it made me feel a sense of righteousness that I had to be the one to do it, and I was glad to do it because I've always had a big heart and nobody's ever given me back that love. I proceeded to pull out my own eyes with my bare hands and twisted them and pulled them and popped them. I told the pastor who shut up, pray for me. I want to see the light. Pray for me. It's the same life, but I've learned everything in a new way. Life's more beautiful now. Life's more beautiful than it was being on drugs. It is a horrible world to live in. This just explains how she isn't, basically how as she's blind and she's adapting to being blind. So
she twisted her own eyes.
she literally which is okay. That is just insane. And I knew
brutal.
meth had like hallucinogenic kind of effects or like paranoia and delusions. But I know like they pick on their skin and a lot of times they feel like there's bugs on them. But those are little because I don't know if you've ever had that little tickle where you think it's like a bug. And
I get that all the time. Where I'm like,
Well, okay, so they just amplified that for them. It feels like it's all over and this and that. So like that makes sense, but the actual aspect of needing to pull your own eyes out and literally doing it is insane. That's insane. So that was just I came across that today. So that was just that.
To continue off of,
Yeah.
So now you do have to listen to the episodes in order because
Oh yeah.
I was like,
well, that kind of gave it all too.
I was like, I was kind of nitpicking, not really nitpicking, but I was all like, hey, I'm so happy episode 16 got over 30 views on YouTube. But then I was like, but nobody's listening to the episodes in the middle. Like everyone's just going for the meat and potatoes or leaving the sides
Well, which
alone.
is weird because I when I start a podcast, I have to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
And if you're starting with this episode, give us some time because we progressively get a little more cohesive.
Right.
Versus the
You'll
first
start
few
appreciating us if
Yeah.
you go back and listen.
Episodes. We're a little more awkward and nervous in the first few episodes because we didn't really know how to.
We're all, yeah, so teacher's going to talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's brutal, and we've gotten over it. So
Progressively better. So
yay to us.
okay, the next one I had was I always say Betsy DeVos. But it could be DeVoe. I don't know if it's like French or something.
Fuck her, Betsy DeVos.
So she, if you don't know, is the she's the Secretary of Education, and it was really controversial when she took her seat there because she's actually she's not a teacher, she's not political. She's literally just a what do they call them? An heir.
An heir.
And to a wealthy family. And she just kind of funded the Trump's campaign a lot and the Republican Party. And so basically this was just like, oh, well, here you go. Like,
right.
We don't really care about
Thanks for the
education,
support.
So,
Sit here.
So make a lot of money back on sitting here, And it's really controversial because our Secretary of Education is the head of our public school systems.
Yeah.
And she's openly and avidly against public schooling. She's into private schooling, which is not what she's the head of anymore. So it's basically like putting someone that's all about Pepsi as the director of the Coca-Cola Foundation. It's like they're going to funnel everything out into Pepsi.
Right.
And they're like, I'm all about Pepsi. I only think Pepsi's the best. Thank you for making me the head of Coca-Cola because that's what I'm gonna do.
And also too, because like when she first got put up for this chair or however you say it, elected, whatever the case may be, and she started going to graduations. And speaking of graduations, there were students that were refusing to go to the graduations, that they were
protesting,
walking out, standing up and walking out as she started speaking. And then a lot of people were really applauding these students. But of course, the conservative side, oh, look at these snowflakes, they can't handle speech and this kind of shit. But now apparently she's getting into, because I remember seeing something, but I didn't really look into it. But you read, apparently, she's getting in hot water again.
Yeah, well, she was on the 60 Minutes show and it's hilarious because, the whole episode is, but it still sounds like Barbara Walters to me, even though Barbara Walters is like 100 years old and like not, but it still has that same kind of like, tonight we discuss, like, I don't know, like that robust kind of white woman voice that she has, but, so she's so basically, you should go watch, I'll post the video, we can post it on the site if you're
definitely give it a share.
And if you're interested in watching it, but, basically, I don't know what the new lady of the show of 60 Minutes is now, but she keeps asking, she goes, okay, so you're cutting funding from public schools. And DeVos is going, yeah, we see that when you take money out of the public school system around the schools, you'll see an uprise in community and this and that. And the lady's like, so you're saying that you're going to take money away from the underprivileged schools, the public school system, and that they get better. And she's like, well, you'll see, and she keeps saying like stats or like this and that gets better, and she's like, but does the school get better? She's like, well, I can't really blanket statement how and the lady goes, okay, well, how about Michigan, where you're from? How about Michigan? They're doing horrible. Like, they have no money. They're doing horrible, and your plan is to take more money from them. And she's like, well, the stats show that if you... And she's like, but where does this happen? You say that the stats show that it works, but when have you seen that work? And she's like, well, we're trying to, she cannot answer the question.
Yeah.
She obviously does not know what's going on. She's prepped to say that these stats for this and that just skirt.
They were like, hey, just bring up these stats, you'll be golden.
Right, exactly. Just, and just don't ever answer. Don't ever answer the question. And then the lady, ends the interview, or at least the clip ends with her going, have you been to these schools? Like, have you gone? And she actually says, I have not intentionally ever gone to one of these schools. Which
intentionally?
Yeah, she literally says, like, and because it sounds like she must have been nervous, because that's not what you would want to say,
I've not on my own free will gone to these places.
Right, that's exactly. I think you're trying to sound like it wasn't your fault, but you literally just said it to your intention not to go to these schools.
Damn it.
And the lady was just like, well, maybe you should. And then DeVos is like, yeah, maybe I should. Because this big, cheesy, fuck kind of look like, oh, shit. Every time you put this lady in front of a camera, though, she just cannot fucking answer.
No, she is stupid. Because I remember when she was first coming up in, Bernie Sanders and everybody was asking all these questions, and she's all, no, I don't see those funds, or I haven't looked at these records, or something along those lines. And, and I'm not a big politician. I'm not super into politics. A lot of these, senators, representatives, all these kind of things. I understand what their basic function is for. I understand, housing and urban development. Okay, that, sounds
right
to me.
I'm the same way. There's tons of directors for this and that, and there's tons of, people in line for that. And I don't know. I looked up her position. I'm interested in following her. Particularly because she's technically my boss,
Right, that's
all
the
way
highest
up
of the highest,
Right, it goes all the way up. Everything that trickles down to what my profession will be comes from what she says. So it's kind of interesting knowing how not prepared she is for the job. So.
Yeah, what I really appreciate, and this is going to sound weird, but hear me out.
Sure.
So I appreciate the Trump administration, and I appreciate this whole political format, or this political landscape that's been created since since the election time, since the campaigning and everything, because now it's showing us what not to do, what not to have in a president, what not to have. Because honestly, this is the most social that I've seen any type of presidency be.
Yeah.
With the whole Barack Obama thing, it was first black, first African American president, first black president, hope, change, all this stuff. And that's what the main thing was about. It was about the history making of everything. Now it's more of whose side are you on? It's really turned into this kind of I'm on my side, you're on your side. But then it's like with this is Betsy DeVos. Okay, this chick is a complete dipshit. Our president just picked somebody and you said that because she supported the campaign and everything. Hey, thanks for giving me money to win the presidency. Here, you sit here. Just whatever the name tag says, look it up. So, and then in San Antonio, which across the nation, I believe, there was early voting and stuff, right? Where you could vote for your local representatives and state senators and everything like that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Texas is going to be a red state for a long, long, long time.
Right.
But what I really appreciate right now, because my sister's in high school. A lot of high schoolers are like-minded, where they're all Democrat. They're all very, liberal. They're open for gay marriage. They're open for, pro-choice and everything like that. There are a lot of these open-minded ideas. But if you see all the conservatives and Republicans and stuff, they're all older people that are on their way out.
Right.
Once we get all of them, once they all die off, then the youth will come into play.
I don't get into it, but me and my coworker she's very conservative, but it's so funny because she'll always act. She's cool, which is weird. She's a cool conservative, but she's not the type. When she first started, she had purple hair, even for a law firm. She had purple hair. She wears like glitter and like she's very, I don't know, very free spirited. You can tell. And she's always asking me like Buddhism and feng shui and stuff like that. She's like, oh, and crystals, and I'm not even into all that. So that's like even too hokey for me. Like, that's
who is the one guy from Quaphone? Michael.
Oh god.
Yeah, all fucking crystals and shit.
Oh my god. Yeah. So she's right, and then I found out she's like super Trump, super conservative. Which I was like, what? Like that doesn't even go. I feel like, but we always get not into it, but we're always kind of like. We just kind of like, but this, and then but this too. Like,
right.
Saying our side, but not really getting too into
You
it.
son of a bitch.
Yeah, like, why do you hate poor people? I don't get that. But, and then she's like, why is your generation so sensitive? I don't get that either. And we're just like, kind of like, ow, but let's not get too into it.
Right.
We're cool, though. It works. But she told me about a quote by, I think it was Woodrow Wilson, or Winston Churchill. I think it was Churchill. But he said, if you're not a liberal in your 20s, you're heartless. You have no heart. Mm-hmm. And then he said, if you're not a conservative by the time you're 40, you're poor. So the aspect is saying that when we're all young, a lot of us are very like, oh, we help fellow man, help, everything's, should be shared more or less. And the older you get, the more you have, the more you're like, yeah, I don't want to give up a lot of that anymore. I had to work for this. And not that I agree with that. I don't see it myself. But that aspect, I think, is pretty true. And that's old. That's an old saying. Yeah. And you'll still see that,
Because honestly, when I was in high school and like even middle school, I guess, starting to have that independent thinking, growing up, becoming more of an adult and everything like that. I was always the one to say shit. I was always saying negative shit, like, to try to be funny. Like, what I think, like, the whole thing is, with, like, a lot of people, like, voting and supporting Trump is, like, oh, haha, like, I'm doing this to piss people off, kind of being a troll. Yeah. So I said that kind of shit, like, when I look back on some of the shit that I said when I was in high school and, like, being on Twitter and Instagram and shit, I'm like, man, the fuck, why did I say that kind of stuff? Yeah. Like, I remember, like...
But that's even younger, because that's when it really didn't even matter. You couldn't even vote.
and so at the same time, it's kind of like that whole, like, if you're liberal in your 20s or, like, when you're younger or whatever, I'm like... I'm starting to get more like that now, but I just don't see myself as older being conservative.
Right.
Like,
I don't either.
I saw you post this on Facebook, and I remember like, oh, yes, because Leslie gets pissed off at me, because there's a Planned Parenthood right down the road from us.
Oh, yeah.
Almost every weekend, or even sometimes weekdays, there's people protesting.
Almost every day.
Every time I see them, I roll down the window and I flip them all off. And Leslie hates, she goes, just stop. Yes, they're stupid, but just stop. I'm like, no, fuck them. Like, that, that's so ugly. It drives me insane. Because there was people that would do that in high school. Like, there were people that, like, would walk in front of Stevens High School on a rare occasion, and they would hold signs of, like, like, abortions are bad, you're going to hell. And somebody had a sign of, like, what a dead fetus looked like and stuff like that. And I'm like, like, that's terrible. Like, oh god, no.
I'm a lot of people post on that and say, oh, you're better than me, I would have flicked him off or yelled to him. And to be honest, every time I pass him, the one in me, in Buddhism it's called Shempa. Shempa means the hook. It hooks you, the emotion just hooks you. Right. And I really just want to, like, if I have my coffee or my tea in my hand, I just want to, like, fuck just real quick, just get real close and slow down and just fucking throw it at them, right? Just drive off, and because fuck them, let it be wet. But it kind of comes philosophically, it's like, well, again, it always comes back to this is their karma being ugly and putting all this energy into that. And me, I could put energy into throwing stuff or flicking them off or every time, but I don't really want to. And it's not more right or more wrong than any of them. That's just where I come from. So, like, my friend Heather, I could see her, and my friend Chrissy, who posted both posts, I'm like, oh, I could definitely see it. I could understand too. Y'all have that in you though, to give.
I was like, don't get me wrong. I've thought about, like, man, I want to buy a Slurpee, like an extra large Slurpee.
That's always
fucking red and
giant.
Fuck you.
The 44 ounces.
It was like, but no, just driving. Yeah. Or it's even better if, like, Leslie's driving and we go down there, because that way I could double flip them off.
Actually, what I always fantasize about, if I'm on the driver's side and Mrs. Teacher's driving, I always think about just fucking throwing the door out. Like, like right, like knock him the fuck over. You ever see where you're just like, they're on the sidewalk, so it's like, bam, like just fucking knock him down.
Knock him down.
But that's not really my style or my scene. So
yeah.
But yeah, wow, that really digressed.
Yeah, that really went. Now we're already at 34 minutes.
Yeah,
Hell
yeah. Here, let's take a break.
All right, let's take a break. All right,
and we're back.
We're back.
I always try to match it. But...
Right. So this is the beginning of the episode. No, I'm just kidding.
We fucked it up.
Right. We recorded it out of order. No, yeah, we needed to take a break. Teach needed to go smoke a cigarette. I needed to go explode the toilet. And
this episode can be long if you'd like, especially because your SO is out of commission tonight, correct?
Yeah, so Leslie is so Leslie's starting to get really involved with extracurriculars, and she's going to be spending the night with this group or whatever at one of their houses or whatever. So
sexy pillow parties.
Man, FaceTime me. What you call it? So yeah, so I'm all rolling solo tonight.
So it's all a podcast night.
Yeah, so it's gonna be all podcast. But yeah, we are just stumbling upon some gold right now, right before we came back into the room. I think it's really interesting, and this is something that I forgot about until we brought it up right now. But RuPaul, as you all know, who is one of the most iconic icons of the of the community, is really outspoken for. Or he's really notorious for being a famous drag queen, dressing up as a girl, for those who don't know. Which I honestly thought RuPaul was a female for the longest time when I was younger.
Right.
I didn't know it was an actual...
I remember my parents telling me, like, that's actually a man. And I was like, what? Like,
no way!
How does that even work?
Right?
Like,
what? You mean they're telling me they're just wearing different clothes?
Yeah.
But... Yeah, so, and of course he has RuPaul's Drag Race, which is a reality show, which it's predominantly gay men.
And he's all about puns, so that's the pun.
Yeah.
Is it a drag race, not the cars, but drag queens.
And also, interesting fact, RuPaul is really obsessed with cars. So that's something too. He really likes racing and everything.
That's right.
Which is cool. So, it's like he's a cool guy. I like it.
If you didn't know, I'm actually a trans man. I was born a woman. No, I'm just kidding.
So that's the thing. So what do they say? So if it's a trans man, if they say they're a trans man, does that mean they were a woman first?
Yes.
And if it's a trans woman, they were a man first.
Right. So the pronouns are, I guess they're pronouns. No, I guess they wouldn't be pronouns. But the aspect of, that's where the word cis comes in, right? Cisgender, meaning biologically born that way. If you're a cis man, cis woman, you're born a man, born a woman, and you identify with that. And then trans man means that you've transitioned into a man.
Okay.
A female biology. And same with the trans woman. You transition to a woman from a man, a biological man. Yeah.
Because that's always the part that confused me. When they say that, I'm kind of like, I need to have it broken down.
Is it like that their identity was a man, they were transitioning, like they were a man transitioning to...
So I'm like, I need to know the order of events here.
So it goes in order. Trans man's transitioning into a man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that, which is simple.
Now you know.
Yeah, so the more you know.
Yeah.
But speaking of trans and RuPaul, so RuPaul recently got into some hot water because... he came out with saying, that he doesn't want fully trans people on his show. Which is kind of like, wait, what? Because there has been trans people on the show before where they're like, well, I am transitioning and this and that. And, he's always like, well, good for you. You're welcome here.
Also, I'm a fan of the show and I watch it. Me and Miss Stooch love the show. We've watched it since, it used to be on Logo. And they're on season 10's coming out. We've watched probably since season 4. And season 4, 5, 6, 7 have been on Logo. And then 8, 9, and 10 have been on VH1. Which is also interesting because RuPaul used to have a talk show on VH1 back in the 90s.
Oh, really?
It got canceled because it was too progressive. You know what I'm saying? It was too much. So I've followed the show. And I can remember the first queen that was on there that came out as transitioning and as a trans woman. And he had made the statement that, we don't screen for being a boy. You don't have to be a boy to be on the show. You just have to have these qualities of charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent.
Mm-hmm.
Which I never, and now I can memorize because I can think of the acronym now, but I always could never memorize all those words, but they spell out, I'll let y'all find out. Charisma, uniqueness, nerve, talent. Think of what the first letters spell out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the original statement. That was like, I don't know, it had to have been like season 5 or 6 or
Right,
something.
a while
earlier.
back.
Yeah. And I guess he came out and said, they asked him, you know, would you let a fully trans woman after like post-op, you know, had his business removed
Right.
and this and that, or transition or hormones, and even further than that, what about a woman? Would you have a woman on the show that identifies as a drag queen, right? Because one of his co-hosts is Michelle Visage, who her joke or so is just that she's a drag queen because she kind of dresses in drag, the really crazy makeup, you know, the wigs, she just has really big fake boobs, but they kind of look, you know, if you would see her at a club, you're like, oh, that's just another drag queen probably. Like,
Right.
She could look past as that. So that was kind of the question that was asked to RuPaul, and he said, yeah, no, it's a boys club. You know, the point is, well, this is his words saying, the outrageousness, the comedy that comes from this, the part that makes it unique is that it's men pushing the boundaries on women, on escaping masculinity. You're truly giving up masculinity when you dress as a woman, as a drag queen. And that's where the heart and soul of drag is. And people are pissed about that.
Yeah, like it really rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, especially cause like I said, because he's an icon within this community, and you know he's kind of like the queen, you know,
well, they all call him mother.
Yeah, you know, so that, it even took me back because I was just like, wait, what?
Yeah, like that
like RuPaul said that. RuPaul.
Yeah, I don't know. I get what he's saying. I get where he's coming from as the business point, as being the curator of the show and keeping it going.
Yeah, because I think that's the whole.
It wouldn't be as interesting watching a woman get up there. And
it was like a
it's
woman.
It's not as outrageous. It's not.
Yeah,
as
it's like, and again, I'm not saying this is what it is, but I'm saying a lot of people would be like, oh yeah, a woman would
dress like
just
that.
like that. Yeah,
yeah.
I've always made the joke because my sister loved. That's really who I started getting into it, is because my sister watching it. So a while back on Hulu, I didn't know like it could be like Netflix where you could split it off into like it's one, you know, parent account, but you could have the set with
profiles.
Yeah. So before we discovered that, it was just my account, my profile. So my sister and I, you know, gave access to my sister so she could watch it at home.
Did you name it Leech 1?
No. So fucking, she started watching RuPaul's Drag Race because she loves drag queens. She watches all the videos. Yeah, on Hulu. At the time, it was on Hulu. Yeah. And so I remember one time I was sick at home, and that was still when I just had the Xbox. I didn't have a smart TV yet or anything. And the batteries on my remote died. And I finished watching my show, and it was going into RuPaul. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, I don't want to watch this. Right. No. I ended up watching a whole season.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, this show is badass. Yeah. I was like, what the fuck?
It's funny.
And I was going around like when Leslie left, I'd be like, sashay away. Like, I was telling her shit like that. And my sister thinks that I just make fun of it because you know how guys talk.
Yeah.
Like, you know, guys will call each other the F word, you know, hey, why are you being a...
Yeah,
you know,
and
stuff like that. And that's just that's how I grew up talking. That's how my dad called us. Those kind of things, you know, saying queer and things like that as insults, but not like as like, oh no, like we're not have anything hate against the gay guys. You're just a queer, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that's just how and I know kids nowadays and like young people nowadays don't do that as much. You know, that it's not, So anytime I say those kind of words, my sister, you should, blows the gasket. Yeah. And I'm like, hey, just chill. And I think it's funny.
Yeah.
So I always make the joke. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go on there and I'm going to be a straight guy. And I'm going to show all those queers, you know, who's buzzed.
I that too, yeah.
And she's like, well, you don't have to tell them. And I don't call them girls. I still call them guys.
Well, they are.
Yeah.
And they are. And
I
that's the
know,
thing is that you can, because they identify as cis men that are drag queens that are not.
and that's what pisses my sister off the most, because she's like, when they're in drag, they're women. And I'm like, no, they're.
She's too into it.
I was like, they're men in women's clothing.
And a lot of them are also, they will get upset if, it's funny because within their community, they call each other girl too. They're like, girl, this, that, you know, whatever.
Yes, queen.
But
yes.
yeah, you know, and they'll use the pronouns her for everyone on that show because
Right.
they're all, you know, it's an effeminate term. But you'll see some instances in the show where they're like, well, don't get it twisted, I'll fuck you up because I'm still a guy.
Right,
You know what I mean?
they're
like, I'm still a man. Like, I just like, and here's the thing. Here's the weird intricacies and why it's fucked up for RuPaul to be saying this is that drag kind of comes on the shoulders of trans women because originally it wasn't, men didn't just dress up to do this to do it. It was original, and not out in public anyways. The people that did that were trans women that were men, and they didn't have, you know, and they looked kind of funny because they didn't have as much as the stuff that you can get away with now, all the tapes and the powders
Right.
and the makeups that are so crazy now. You can get away with all this stuff, and they really look like just guys in drag, but they really did identify as women. So there's that aspect of the history of drag where it's like, well, how are you going to exclude, you know, or say that you wouldn't let a trans woman on when they're kind of the ones who started this, like,
Right.
whatever. And I don't know the history of drag. This is what I've read about it because I was interested on that aspect. But I don't know where I stand on that because at the same time where it's like, yeah, you can't do that. You can't exclude. The whole point of the LGBTQ is to include everything.
Open and
Yeah, the
big,
container
happy
is
family.
very spacious. And so to put, it's kind of just making your smaller group, reminiscent of the world again, where you can't discriminate. It's discriminatory.
Yeah.
At the same time, as a viewer, and who doesn't identify with this and all that stuff, it's like, yeah, that wouldn't be interesting. Like,
Right.
It wouldn't be funny. I have, and I don't know if this is bad or not, but a lot of my kind of joy that comes from watching the show is stepping back for a second. Because sometimes I get into it, I'm like, oh, that bitch, this girl talking, right? Like, she don't fucking know. This bitch don't play. But stepping back, I'm like, these are full grown ass men in wigs and makeup, and,
Yeah.
and they have scenes where they're putting on all this crazy makeup. They look just insane. You know, their hair is all in that net
The
for
wig-
like a
the
wig,
wig cap, yeah.
and their makeup's all the contour stuff they have to do. They look like just funny. They're just, and then it's like, and these are grown ass men
Right.
talking about this stupid shit. Like, that's so funny to me. Like
the thing,
the outrageousness of it.
Yeah. Oh shit! What was I gonna say? It really reminds me of, there was an SNL sketch a while back where there were like guys in a mechanic shop,
Yeah.
and they're all like, "Hey, you know."
It was like last year.
it was sometime.
It was because it had just came on VH1. That's why it
yeah.
become more public.
So it was like, hey, you guys heard about this show, RuPaul's Drag Race?
Yeah, my chick watches it.
I'm like, yeah. But you know, if we're being honest,
And it's the guy from Star Trek, isn't it? He's the
Chris
one
Pine, yeah, he's in that episode, yeah.
he's in that skit.
And he's the one, because there's one guy that's like, hey, like it's kind of quiet, and he goes,
Yeah.
all you bitches have got it wrong. Like, and then he starts going for like Trixie
Yeah.
or somebody, I don't know. It's like,
yeah.
and so it's funny too, because yeah, there's RuPaul Drag Race. I mean, I know it's been around since I was in high school. Like, I remember.
Here's the thing: it's a guilty pleasure for me.
It-
I don't.
I say
discuss
it's a guilty
this.
pleasure for me
It's
too,
a total
yeah.
guilty pleasure. I don't normally discuss it, especially just because it has weird connotations sometimes, and we're not at the place in the world where everyone can just talk about
Right.
it. But for it becoming on VH1 made it a lot more mainstream because it was on Logo even, and Logo is like synonymous with LGBTQ friendly, material, and so for it to go on VH1 was like, damn, like this it got such a following that it was
Right.
able to be put on this platform. But what's funny is that it's not as good on VH1.
Really?
No, I don't think
I've seen the VH1 format
Yeah,
yet. I've
well,
only remember it from Logo.
me and Mr. T. I mean, they had one. First of all, the commercials are way longer because it's VH1. So
Yeah.
it's still an hour set, like it was on Logo. But on Logo, they'd have like 2 commercials, or like 2 breaks for commercials. Which is VH1. It's like every fucking 15 minutes there's a commercial. So there's really only like 20 minutes or 30 minutes of the show.
Right.
And in the original stuff, they had a lot more like little challenges and shit like that you saw like the girls bicker and stuff,
Right.
just the funny part. Now they kind of taken all that out because they have to fund, and I get it, but it's not as good. It's already not as good. And then to add women and be like, I could watch. What's the one? To me, this show makes fun of the Tyra Banks show, the model one. Where the models,
what was it called? It was
Next Top Model.
There you go, America's Next Top Model. That's how I see this as too.
But makes fun to me. It makes fun. It kind of the way they're so prissy and the way they're so about themselves, although they probably really are.
Yeah.
It mirrors how like the female personality is, or like even the model kind of.
Because they're queens, they're prima donnas.
Yeah,
you know, they're those divas.
Really grandiose about it.
Yeah.
And, like, they're aware of it, too. Versus on the runway stuff, or the Next Top Model stuff, they don't even know. And I can't watch that show.
I've never watched.
I love Tyra Banks. She's hot as fuck. She's funny. Like, if you watch her on, like, her little...
Have you seen the movie Life Size?
Yeah, I love... Yeah.
It's
It's a great movie. She's cool. On her show, though, she annoys the fuck out of me. Because she's so dramatic... But she doesn't realize how dramatic she is. Mm-hmm. Like, she's not aware of it, so it's just cringy.
But she gets away with it because she's Tyra.
It's cringy to me to watch that. And to see those contestants, it's cringy to watch them act. But when it's these drag queens and they're, like, self-aware of how, like, they are, but they're just like, yeah, well, fuck it. That's hilarious. That's fucking gold. Like, I can watch that all day.
Yeah. It's a cool show. I really enjoy it. Hopefully... I don't know. Hopefully this mess about the whole trans thing.
So I listen to RuPaul's podcast, and I'm interested. It's funny because I still don't understand how their format is. Because I think they'll post their podcast will have the guest of the week's show. Like last week's, I don't remember. So whoever was a guest last week, the podcast had that guest on. Mm-hmm. But if that show was last week, that was filmed 6 months ago.
Right.
So that audio was recorded 6 months ago. But then they'll switch, and then I think they might half it. Like, they do that recording and save it, because they said something else that happened, like, last month. And I'm like, wait a minute, how did they know about that 6 months ago on the same show? I'm like, so they must splice it. Yeah. You know what I mean? To keep it whatever. I don't know where I was going with that, actually. Where was I going with that? I'm interested in seeing if RuPaul on his podcast will talk about this.
The incident.
Right. Or if he'll just ignore it because it's 6 months ago. I don't know. He's very open with that, too. That's how I know that it's 6 months, because he'll be like, there was one season where someone was pissed off about someone going home, and they're like, you know, everyone starts messaging me when someone goes home, like, bring them back, and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, they don't realize that this all is shot. Like, there's no bringing them back. Like,
the season's over.
Yeah, the season's over. We're just now giving it to y'all, so... Anyways,
but let us know what you think about it.
Have you watched it? Have you seen it?
I was like, do you like RuPaul? Are you mad?
Give it a shot.
You know, do you have an input on the LGBTQ community? You know, let us know.
Open your mind. Be open to it. It's funny.
Exactly. So on that note, what else we got today?
Do you still want to do like current events?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, well,
the dog.
Okay, yeah. So
prepare your napkins and tissues here.
What do they say? What is it? Uncover video here. So, a family, a mother and her like 8-year-old child went on a flight with it was a Frenchie. And apparently they were able to board the plane with it. This is where I don't understand. This is where the disconnect for me is. But they were able to board the plane with the dog without, usually you have to ship them separately. They have a separate part of the plane where all the animals go if you're flying with an animal. But it was a 3-hour flight. They were on the plane with them. They were able to do that. But the flight attendant made them put the dog in the overhead bin. And it was a 3-hour flight. And when they landed, they opened the bin and the dog was dead. And I'm going to show David the picture there.
Aww.
The dead pupper.
Man.
And so the actual article, or the stuff that was given to the public, was from another passenger who wanted to bring awareness to this. And he or she said that, the family didn't want to do that.
Right.
But the flight attendant was persistent on that they had to do that, put them in the overhead bin. And that for the 3 hours, most of the hours, the dog was, chirping or kind of, you could hear it.
Yeah.
But like the last 20, 30 minutes, was when he went quiet, and everyone just kind of assumed, well, he just tired himself out, and in reality, he died. Suffocated is how that happened because of the air. There was no air in there.
Yeah.
Because it's not made for live people to be in that. So, and even United Airlines, because it's United Airlines, right?
I think.
Or it was United.
Man, well, they just can't. Man, they're always getting themselves
Were
into
they
trouble.
the ones that dragged off the doctor too?
Yeah, the ones that roughed up a fucking poor man.
Well, he was a doctor.
Well, no, I'm saying like the poor guy,
hey. They issued the apology saying, "This was a tragic accident that should have never occurred, as pets should never be placed in the overhead bin. We assume full responsibility for this tragedy and express our deepest condolences to the family and are committed to supporting them. We are thoroughly investigating what occurred to prevent this from ever happening again." Fuck, like, you just need this investigation and not put a dog in the overhead bin.
Yeah, I was like, fire the bitch who said, "Hey, put that dog in there."
I still don't understand how the dog got on. I've never heard of it.
Was it like a service animal? Or did they deem it a service animal?
It didn't specify in the article.
Because I know a lot of times people get really persnickety about service animals and being there.
But in that case, I feel like they would have definitely advocated for not putting the dog away.
Yeah.
Because they would. The point, if they were going to be on the flight for that, it was for a reason. Because the person needs them. Yeah, just really tragic. The person that posted about it was like, this dog. The dog was only 10 months old too, the puppy,
God.
and they had gotten it from birth, from a puppy, so that, and the passenger was saying, this dog was supposed to be a companion for this young family because it was an 8-year-old and a toddler.
Yeah, it was probably like their first dog or so.
Puppy was going to be like their family pet, like years to come, and because of this flight attendant and United killed their dog. I mean, what's sadder than that? Like,
it's like, oh, welcome home, your dog's dead.
Right.
Like, that's terrible. Man, fuck United.
I don't know, and that's my thing. I think about when I ever think about like traveling with my dog, and because we talk about like moving places and stuff, and I'm like, I'm not leaving my animals. Like, we'll pay out the wazoo wherever we have to, that we need to, because they're coming with us. But even in that sense, I'm like, that discourages me from doing the flights. Like, who knows what they'll fucking do to my pets, you know what I mean?
Right. Even if you, whether you bring them on board with you or do the whole shipping.
Those people, too, they don't give a shit. It's not their pet. They hate their job, too. And who knows if they're throwing around the cages and, you never know.
It's such an ugly thing to think of.
You never know. So...
that's ugly.
So, on a lighter note...
All right, let's...
Well, actually, I guess kind of a lighter note, but there was another video that surfaced today of someone in a parking lot driving around, and they're about to pull into this parking spot, and this young lady runs to the spot and gets in front of the car and says, "No, I got here first, get away." And they're like, "No." They're like, "No, this isn't a woman parking spot, this is a car parking spot, and your car is in here, mine is, I get the spot." And what's funny? I looked at the comments of that, and it was like half and half. People were like bashing the people that the lady and her mom, they were standing in the parking lot, like, get the fuck out of here. And people, same as much bashing the drivers are like, no, they got there first. You need to go.
That.
Okay, so we're on the same page with that.
Yeah, fuck that. It's a car. It's a driving. Because you know what? Me and Leslie have made that joke. Like, if we park somewhere and see a better parking spot, we'll be like, I'll stand right here. Go get the car.
Right.
We've made that joke. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have made that joke.
Sure.
But to actually see it implemented like that, no, fuck you.
I can even understand doing that initially and hoping that the car goes, oh fuck, whatever, like I don't want to deal with this, and driving away. But if they're like, no, I'm taking this, it's like, okay, you lost, like you need to move.
Yeah.
Like,
they're in the car, I'm on my legs.
Yeah,
like
my thing, the video, what pisses me off is that I was really waiting. If it was me, I probably would have driven away just because I'm not aggressive, but I really wanted them to be like, keep going like an inch or two.
Yes.
Like, just keep pushing them. Fuck, you're in a car. Like, they will move. Like,
right.
They have to. Like, literally.
I was really hoping for that video. I was really hoping for like those stupid little mall security guards, whether it be on the Segway or that little cart. Because there's got to be rules like, no.
You can't do that.
That's dangerous. That's a safety hazard.
You cannot do that. You can't do that because it doesn't even make sense for you to be able to do that because the car takes precedent over your body. It just
like in a
does.
drive-through, you can't walk through a drive-through.
This is not
a drive-through.
Yeah, this is not a line of people. This is a place to park cars. Whatever car is physically there first gets the spot. You don't get to do that.
Right.
Like,
so the asshole in me was just like, I would have been like, fuck it, run him over.
Yeah,
I would have been like,
yeah.
fucking pin him next to the car in front of you. At the same time, I'm like, well, you can go to jail for that.
well, yeah, going aggressive. I was thinking just nudge them. Keep fucking pushing them back. They will move. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
and
I don't care how big and tough you think you are. If a car is coming, the car's right there at
yeah,
your
I'm
stomach.
protected.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
You're not going to do nothing to my car. What sucks is at the end they drive away and you don't see them.
Pussy. Oh
Yeah,
my
you
god, that
see
made
them
me
start
mad.
to drive away. It's like I just felt so like unsatisfied with that. You know, I really wanted them to fucking move, but these people
Like one of those porn videos, all right, when the guy's about to come, and then it goes like, "See full video at," and you promotes the website, and you're like, "God damn it!"
You're like 30 seconds back,
Right.
real quick.
Oh.
Here, let's actually pause real quick. I'm gonna make a drink.
All right,
All right, sorry y'all. I had to make a drink.
man. Fucking, that's 2 pauses in one episode. How dare you? No, I'm just kidding. It's
Luckily,
fine.
they don't feel the pause, the full pause.
Right. So like the episode when we had mental breakdowns laughing, me and you and Dwayne.
I was cracking up on that episode. Listening to it, I was still cracking up.
So like that was the thing. I was like, man, I'm gonna have to edit so much stuff because I remember we were laughing for so long. Like,
Yeah.
but I remember we paused it.
Yeah, we ended up taking a break.
We took a break, and then we were still cracking up for like 10, 15 minutes. So I was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to have to sit through all of this. So it was like, ah! So yeah, so going on to and I was like, wait, oh yeah, we
We did
paused
stop-
it.
yeah.
I was like, that makes sense on why it's not, why it
That
wasn't
was
a nightmare
so
to edit.
funny. So if I don't know, my friend Dwayne, he tends to smoke when he's on this podcast.
Yes.
And the part that I was sitting in traffic merging actually from I-10 to 410, and you know that bridge.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, you know, we're merging, and the part comes up where you're explaining how if we get endorsements, they might give us free shit. But Dwayne was talking about, and we had just ended the talk about how I wanted to make like fake advertisements for random shit. And Dwayne's like, oh, like some fucking whistles, like, you know. And then you said, well, no, you had explained that if we get someone endorsed, they would give us free shit. But Dwayne's stone ass didn't hear that, or didn't make sense at first. He was like, why do you want a box of whistles? Like,
I was like, no, I want to sponsor. Because I even said, I was like, fuck this. I give up. Because I was like, I want Angry Orchard to sponsor us, seeing as how much I talk about them and drink them.
Right,
so that way,
right.
And then that's when he goes, well, why would you want a box of whistles? I was like, no, I
he
want
was
Angry
still,
Orchard.
He was still, I could watch his brain on the listening to the podcast being like stuck on how funny it is to get
Whistles.
to endorse whistles because they're stupid. And then you're like, and all he hears is you saying he would want the advertisement to bring. He's like, what are you going to do with the box of whistles?
Give them to a gym teacher.
He's like,
like,
we're not talking about whistles anymore, Dwayne. Like,
he's like, whoa.
oh, that was funny.
That was a great episode.
cracked me
Oh my
up.
lord.
Okay.
Speaking of great, the New America's Pastime on the beach.
Oh.
I was like, this is the story you brought up. I'm
Well,
like,
yeah, my bad.
teacher was looking at me
This
like,
is all raw. I
you're like,
thought he
what
had
the fuck
something.
is
I was
that?
like, yeah, what's the next thing? I don't know. Yeah, so butt luge. Butt luge. So I don't know. This was actually today. I just came across. It's slightly erotic watching the video too, because you watch. So basically, girls get at the beach or somewhere where bikinis are worn. They're in a hunched position where someone pours a beer down their back and it trickles down their ass. And
Ooh.
the trick is for you
trick.
to be under said hunched ass and to let the beer fall in, to drink it. So, I don't know. I saw it and I advocate for it. I think it's a cool pastime. I think that's I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
right?
I
would
depending on I don't know.
Maybe
person, I
I
guess.
was like, maybe if it was Leslie's ass, I would
Sorry.
maybe, as that's an ass I'm familiar with.
Right.
But if it was like a random stranger, hey, you want to drink this beer I poured down my ass?
right,
It's
well,
like,
and I always think of these things as from a single perspective. As a yeah, definitely it wouldn't matter.
Right.
We do that on our spare time, so but
So that's why it was so sticky in the bathroom. When I went.
the distinction of being like a random, like a single guy at a party and to do this. Yeah.
If I was single, I don't know if I would do that.
I would probably still do it.
I'm a random person?
How they looked.
I don't know how they look.
The girl in the video looked like they probably take care of everything back there. So
Man, but then also you got to think about, did it just come out of the ocean? And
They
all the
probably did
all the
come
fecal
out.
bacteria that's in the ocean right now.
well, if you're in the Gulf, yeah.
I was like, well, that's all Texas beaches,
Well,
Gulf.
you don't know. This could be in Russia that they're just playing.
In
You don't
Russia,
know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if I would do that. That's strange. I was like in Jackass. Have you seen Jackass number 2? Where
I've
they
seen
put
them all, yes.
where they put the butt chug?
That's a lot different. But
Well, yeah, but that reminds
Yeah.
me of
well, that's
Steve-O.
drinking a beer in your ass.
yeah.
And there's no other person involved.
Right. Oh, I'll make it.
I would not drink a beer out of Steve-O's ass. No, that would not be, I would not advocate for that. But
If the price is right.
$20 is $20. No, but
20.
yeah,
I'll do it
I don't
for
know. I
free.
just thought that was an interesting tip. But let us know. Butt losing. Are you into it? Do you do it?
What
are
would
the
you-
rules?
I was like, yeah, it's like, should it be in the Olympics next
How do
year?
you ask someone to do this?
I have a proposition for you, man.
Yeah. How do you proposition someone to go? Hey, I think would be a cool idea. Let's do some butt losing. Like,
Right, let's-
who's the guy that starts that? How do you start that? I don't know.
Like, hey guys, we got a bunch of excess beer here.
and
like,
a lot of ass. So why not just put them together?
Let's put these asses to use here. Speaking of putting shit to use, I love transitions for some reason.
You're pretty good at it.
I was
It's
like,
becoming like second nature to you.
I guess so.
Because I have
It's
the shittiest. Like I'm just like, okay, next topic.
right. So AIDS. No, I'm just kidding. Fucking. Speaking of putting things to good use, wink, wink. We got fan emails finally.
Yeah, I was
It's
like, are we going the way I'm thinking we're going?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Okay, so do you think he would be opposed to being shouted out on the? Or they know?
No,
Yeah, if you, I'm going to use your names now because you didn't request otherwise. But if you do want to be anonymous, just put explicitly somewhere.
Do not say my
anonymous.
fucking name.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So
But-
right now you're fucked.
Right. So since you didn't do that, we're gonna do it. So Eric Agosto. How do you say it? Agosto.
Agosto.
Anyways, thank you very much for your questions. I am very intrigued by them. I'm eager to discuss these questions because they're pretty dope, actually. And your other questions were dope too.
After you hurt his feelings.
I didn't intend to hurt anyone's feelings, but they watch this fall flat. The other ones were the good ones because we were all, and these were like, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I guess.
We'll see. No, I'm really excited about talking about these questions. So, there's a lot. We have a lot of questions actually.
Hey, we should. You know what? I got the time.
We got the time.
I was like, so let's do
If
it.
anything, if it's too long of an episode, we can half it because David usually cancels on me the next week, so we can just post that one.
Oh, my lord.
Is this becoming a bi-weekly podcast?
I don't know. I'm really trying not to. It's because right now I'm in training.
Oh, okay.
And training is 8 to 4:30. And it's like I'm just been really exhausted. And also, too, I'm
Yeah.
trying to get as much money as I can right before WrestleMania.
Sure.
So it's like, because I don't want to be out there and be like,
Hey,
broke.
You just gotta talk to me about it. So that makes sense.
That's
I thought
what
you were
I'm
just
listening.
canceling on me. And shit.
No,
I just
man,
get my
no.
feelings hurt every week. Okay,
Oh,
every other week. Okay, so the first one is, what is it like to wake up every morning and pretend that you aren't dying? This is an interesting question.
I honestly say every morning in my head, fuck, I'm still alive.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm kind of like, damn it. I honestly like pray for the sweet release of death.
I have a similar, not as pessimistic, but I kind of wake up going like, hey, it happened. I didn't, like life. It happened. I'm still here. Like, I do have that concept of, or that thinking about like, well, I made it this far, so.
Like, and like Leslie gets mad at me every time because I'm just like, man, I wish I were dead. Because she takes it as like you don't want to be with me, like you're not looking forward to our future.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I would love, like, I still want to marry you, I still want to have kids, it's my biggest dream. I'm like, but if I were to die right now, like if I was right here in your room, Teach, and I just fucking boom, dead, I've had a pretty successful life so far. It's like I don't really have a lot of regrets.
That has to come from an aspect of suffering, in the sense
I just
that,
hate bills. I hate stress.
well, and I'm the same way. Where the sense of, if I'm dead, that's scary, but at the same time, I know I don't have to deal with anything anymore. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, it's all good because I don't have to deal with it.
Whatever happens
I'm dead,
next, I'm
so,
like, yeah, fuck it. Like,
you know. Yeah.
I don't gotta call in work.
So what is it like to wake up every morning and pretend you aren't dying? I guess I don't pretend I'm not dying.
I know I'm dying.
I know I'm dying.
My health is garbage.
Yeah, and a lot of times I wake up and something will kind of ping in my, and I'm like, oh fuck, here it goes. This is it. This is the big one.
I can't even. It's funny, I can't even lay down on the couch right because if I'm laying in a specific position, it feels like my heart is right up against my chest bone,
yeah.
and I'm like, oh god damn it,
Yeah,
oh fuck,
yeah.
I gotta move real safely because I feel I'm gonna puncture my heart.
You ever lay down in a weird way and you can feel all your bad decisions in your body fucking, and you're like, ah, fuck, I shouldn't have had that cheeseburger for lunch.
That's how I felt right now. I was sitting, I don't know if you saw me when I was sitting. I was like, oh shit. That's how I was leaning forward. And I was like, I was honestly going to ask you, do you need a smoke break? Do you need a smoke break? Yeah, you need a smoke break because
I'll have really rowdy hangovers sometimes on the weekends, and I'll go and take a shower because it's usually a relief to get in the shower, the water. But sometimes the water it makes my heart rate go up. I have to sit down. And I'm like, oh fuck. I'm just like this. And I like turn the cold water on. I'm like, oh, gotta calm down. This is too much. Like, heart rate is racing. Like,
no, talk about heart racing right now. I'm gonna keep bringing up the bathroom because I'm embarrassed in what I've just done. Fucking when I was walking into the bathroom, we paused it to do a break. I'm walking into the bathroom. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna have to sit down over here, and teacher's like, oh okay. He kind of chuckles. And he goes, is there TP in there? And I was about to close the door and drop my pants, and I was like, I was like, I hope to God there's TP in here.
Oh, you have done it. I didn't notice. But...
I was like, oh no.
Well, you know what? Because I don't use this bathroom anymore. Because I used to have the cat staying there, and she would fuck shit up. And Mrs. Cheech actually just cleaned it up today. And so I don't really use, but I did have a thing of toilet paper. Because sometimes if Mrs. Cheech uses the other bathroom, I'm forced to use this bathroom. And then the old toilet, they changed it. Did they change your toilet?
Yes, they did. I appreciate it.
It used to not flush right. Do you remember? It would run and it wouldn't blah, blah, blah. So I used to just turn off the water because it would run all night. And it was out of commission for so long. And I just haven't assimilated back to having a fully functioning bathroom again. So,
right.
So that's why I was like, is
that why the sink is a little low pressure?
That is, I have no idea what
okay.
that's about. Yeah, and I was hoping they would fix that. Because my shower was like that too. But they fixed the shower. But I haven't taken a shower
They gave us a new shower head too in our apartment.
Yeah.
So the new toilet I really appreciate because the old toilet we had, my balls and dick were like right on the edge.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just kind of like, man, and
but
as
you know
I'm
what? They're
gaining
too
weight.
tall.
These ones? Oh,
yeah,
these ones fit perfectly for me.
I find myself sitting like on my tippy toes sometimes, like to like get the leverage.
Really? I sit down and I'm like, boom.
I feel like I'm kind of like a little too forward because it's too high. And you know they say now like the squatty potties, you should be.
Oh yeah, you should be.
Your knees should be kind of elevated.
You've seen that too. I want a squatty potty.
I want a squatty potty, and these ones are like they're just a little too tall.
Like I said, the only thing like I don't have to if I had to climb a step stool, as long as my dick is not pressing up, because my fear is like peeing and like pissing outside of the toilet. Like that was my fear with my old toilet.
Right.
But with this one, I'm like, man, look at that. Look at my space. Look at my dick and balls dangle in the toilet. Like, look at that. Yeah. Look at that.
You ever watch Seinfeld?
I've seen a few episodes.
There's one. Oh, okay. Well, there's one where George gets his own bathroom and he talks about how high the toilet is, and he goes, "I feel like a gargoyle just sitting." And I always think of that, but I don't like it though. I don't like having that. I feel a little too like this. Like my feet are just a little bit like they would be more comfortable like right here, you know. But they're here, so it's kind of just a little too elongated. Anyways, okay.
Second question.
So next question. Would you rather be rich and paralyzed from the waist down or poor and able-bodied?
I'll be rich and paralyzed.
I am already poor and able-bodied, and I'd probably like to stay that way. Yeah.
I'd be rich and paralyzed because a lot of times...
You just have someone take care of the stuff?
Exactly. And a lot of times at concert venues and sporting events, the handicaps get the best part, the best seat, the handicaps.
Yeah, that's true.
The sections are a lot better.
You just can't dance to them.
Yeah, you know, so I'm going to be at raves wheeling back and forth.
How do you shuffle dance with no... just use your hands.
I was like, yeah, I could dab, I can milli rock, I can...
Yeah, for sure.
So I'd be rich and...
I would be poor and able-bodied.
And then I could just pay for new legs.
I'm used to that, so... so that's what I would pick. Okay, if someone could tell you the exact day and time that you were going to die, what would you want them to tell you? If you did, what would you do with that information? If someone could tell you the exact day and time that you are going to die, would you want them to tell you? Okay. And if you did, what would you do with that information? Okay, I got it. I would. If the information, if I was propositioned that they could tell me, I would take it. I wouldn't seek it, but if it was given that I could choose it, I would, just because the options Aaron and I always take. It's always like...
You're like, hey, dude, I know how you're going to die. Well...
Yes, okay, tell me. Fuck, now I'm thinking about it. You know? And if I did, I think it would be kind of liberating to know when and... It's the exact day and time to know, because you have this much time. I could also see the upside where it's... You can kind of ruin shit because you're focused on that instead of just enjoying it. Cause
you're just like 3, 2, 1, fuck it out.
Well, it's kind of like, well, I only have this much time to do what I want to do, and now it's kind of. Did you change your watch?
No, I still got it. Hey, so my sister just messaged me. Look this up if it's true. Breaking news on who cares. Stephen Hawking died.
What?
Yeah, look this up if it's true. We'll get back to the question right now because my sister just messaged me. So, apparently Stephen Hawking has passed away.
Wow.
I was like, are you looking it up? I can't see. I'm also a little inebriated.
Yeah, it says March 14th, 2018. How? Oh, well, I guess I can look up.
He dies age 76.
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow. You know, there's a conspiracy that his body hasn't really been functioning for a long time. There's just a corporation behind him using him as like a figurehead. Have you heard that?
No.
Yeah.
What is it, like the little thing from Men in Black? The guy when he opens it up?
Kind of, but like his, you know, because his body, he can't move really, and the little bit of movement he can do, he types out his stuff, but it's like a really. So they're saying that he doesn't really type. He just kind of moves. His body's like brain dead and worthless, and then there's just these people behind him that are. Oh, well, Stephen Hawking's is saying it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I wonder if they're going to talk about that on The Big Bang Theory. I'm pretty sure. Because him and Sheldon...
Is it still on?
Big Bang Theory, yeah. They're still doing new episodes. I don't think they're in a season right now, but...
Oh, okay.
So speaking of dying, how convenient, how weird that was.
Right.
I wonder if he asked or if he knew.
Right.
But, man, rip. I would probably be like, is it going to be painful? Like, if they're like, hey, I know how you're going to die, the date and time, I'd be like, can I just know if it's painful?
It doesn't say that they would know that, though.
Yeah, but...
It says, what would you do with the information if you knew the date and time?
Then I guess no, because then it'd be like... Because I would want to know, like, how and, like, and if it's going to hurt. Because that's my fear. I'm not afraid of dying. I'm just afraid of being in pain. Because I just hate discomfort.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just hate discomfort at all. So I'll just be like, damn. And it's like, if I'm going to die, I'll just be like, man, just fucking do it. Why do I got to be in pain? Like, just fucking end it.
Yeah.
So I'd just be like, how?
So you wouldn't want to know.
No, yeah, I would just be like, fuck it, I'll wait.
Yeah. And then what if you, like, drop dead?
Right.
Why didn't I ask?
Right. Fuck!
Could have checked off one last time.
Right, I didn't give him my last nut.
Okay, the last one. If man evolved from apes, then why do we still have apes?
Man, I don't fuck with these kind of questions.
No?
This shit's the devil, dude. That's like, that's...
What?
Not the devil. That's just like... It's just like, man... Like, I don't know. Like, those kind of things just get all...
It's actually really simple. It's a really simple explanation. So... So it's hard with humans and apes because people... With the whole creationism and this and that, it's like hard to grasp, right? Or whatever. And why are apes around if the species evolved? But it's not the way you think. It's not so linear in the sense that there were apes and then, you know, the missing links and then the caveman, the missing link, and then humans. Think of wolves, right? Wolves are a archaic and they're a primitive species, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're still around. Dogs came from wolves, though, right? That's an understood... We all understand that dogs come from wolves.
Right.
And that's like, pretty much accepted, right? Like,
yeah.
Most people understand that. It comes from wolves. Why are there still wolves? Well, because it's not that wolves died out to become dogs.
Isn't it just based on their surroundings and stuff like that?
It is. And back wherever it happened, where dogs come from wolves, they share a ancestor. So there's, you know, whatever giant wolf probably was back in the, however long ago. But eventually they got to a point where the surroundings changed, and wolves, they had even before wolves, there was some older species of wolf, right?
Mm-hmm.
And half of that herd went this way and the other half went that way, and this half stayed wolves and this half evolved into dogs because we took them in, as humans, we bred them, we domesticated them. Yeah. Same thing with humans. So we share genes with apes, but we're not derivatives of apes. We are derivatives of an ancestor, where apes stayed, but we branched off and became better.
Right.
So that's why the ape is still there. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Questions?
Those like
Concerns?
questions. Oh yes, teach. No, it's just because it's like because I understand that whole thing. Like that's the thing that's always stuck out to me is that whole like it's based upon their surroundings. They adapt to where they're at, and because of that, they go their separate ways. That I've always known. I've always understand because I learned that in school and stuff. But that whole thing is just because like I'm not a religious person. Because I know there's the whole thing on the religious aspect. No, man, God created man.
Right.
The monkeys and apes are just animals God created. Da da da.
Right.
We're not apes. Da, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But I'm like, well, yeah, okay, you can believe that. But it's like, but we have the science that shows all this. So I'm just kind of like, doop 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 doop. Like, there's humans, there's apes. Like, I stay in my own lane on that kind of stuff.
It's an interesting question because I remember, evolution is just like the truth to me.
Evolution is there. Like,
and
you
for
can't
me,
deny
when
it.
someone doesn't believe in evolution, especially because of religious reasons, I think it's really outrageous and just kind of, and not in a funny way, but
yeah.
I remember asking my dad and my stepmom, because my stepmom's an engineer, like a very successful engineer. She's like a GS equivalent of like a full board colonel in the army, but as a civilian. She has that ranking. She's that important for engineering for the military. And my dad's retired military, we've talked about his ranking and all that. But they're very religious. And I remember talking about some topic about evolution, and then I was just kind of talking like thinking we're all on the same page. Mm-hmm. And after a little bit of talking, I realized like they're not really on my side. I can feel like
wait a second.
And then I kind of was like, y'all believe in evolution, right? Like, and they were like, you could tell they were like, they didn't want to answer the question because like they kind of don't, I guess, because of their religious stuff.
I just don't see how you cannot believe in something that's proven.
We have cavemen, we have fossils. It's not a conspiracy.
I was
the big thing was the missing link because we have where we all come from like Homo erectus. Which is
just kidding.
Well, yeah. So we were all on all fours, and Homo erectus was the one that could kind of stand up. Didn't have to use his hands.
Homo erectus
and he had thumbs. Yeah, and then I'm gonna right past that. Sorry. So that aspect went into apes and monkeys, and also into going into humans. But you can, and it's online. You can look up the family tree of where we come from, where we share an ancestor, but not that we come from apes. Not that apes evolved into us. We evolved from Homo erectus, not from apes. Apes evolved from Homo erectus too. That's why we have such similar genes. That's why we have opposable thumbs. But we don't come from, and that's why they're still around, is because they still prospered in their environment and did not have to advance as much as we did to prosper. Mm-hmm. That's simple. But the thing is that it's not as obvious because you always think of the picture, like going up to a human and walking, right? So you always think it's so linear, like, well, there's the ape right there evolving into the higher one. Why is he still around? Well, because that actually it's not so linear. It actually goes that way, like into the picture. Okay. 3D, if you could look at where that slices off the other way, that's a different lineage, and that's why the apes are still here. So, does that answer the question? Answer the question. Okay. All right, so we have another very nice list of questions.
Right.
2 emails, actually. This is great. And so this is Jacqueline.
This is who I say is our super fan. She's the one that's been supporting the show since when she discovered I had a podcast, she went like all out.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, man, thanks.
She's the one that doesn't have
She doesn't have Facebook,
though.
Twitter, nothing. She just has Snapchat, which she did share
Cool.
a screenshot of our YouTube page up on our Snapchat. So I'm just like, dang, like, I really appreciate the support, Jackie. And she's the one that's always getting on me at work. When's the new episode coming out? When's the new, Teach is right. You slack when it comes out. I'm like, damn it, okay. Like, thanks, Jax. But, yeah, so she told me today she was going to send me email. I didn't know she sent me two. Like, I figured because you always get to the emails before me.
I'm an email person. I have a lot of emails coming all the time. So
so when I click on the page or if I get on my Gmail app and I don't see that there's a 1 next to the Who Cares account, I'm like, okay, there's no new emails. But then I'm like, wait, Teach probably read some, so I gotta.
Yeah, you should check them anyways.
Yeah,
just look through them because, well, I have 3 emails that I run, for personal or work one and the podcast. And I get my notifications as soon as they come. So, and I have it on my watch too. So it'll come in for any one of them, and I'm just constantly in emails. So I do read them.
Okay,
so
no problem.
pretty quick, pretty right. And that's the thing. I always forget that, like on the Facebook page, I know it'll still let you know even though I checked it. But on email, it doesn't work that way. As far as they know, it's only one person looking at these. But
of course.
Anyways, okay. So Jacqueline, appreciate you. Okay, well now I fucked it up okay, there we go. All right, so the first one, this is gonna last us for a while too, and we'll gauge it. So, first one is, what is the worst date you have been on?
Ooh, the worst.
Doesn't come to mind. I have to think about it.
Oh, I know what the worst date I've been on was. It was with my ex-girlfriend right before dating Leslie. The chick I was seeing at the time, she had just gotten out of a long-term relationship. I was single, and I was like head over heels for this chick, man. I was like, oh my god, like at that time, because I was head over heels. Yeah, I'm really buzzed tonight. This is, man, I'm good. Whatchamacallit. So yeah, really crazy about this chick, right? So and it was all like, and it was hyping me up because she was like, oh, like she was a Latina girl, which I love Latinas. And she was like, oh, I like white boys and this and that. So I felt all like, oh, yeah, like I'm...
a good date to start out, okay.
Well, this was like maybe our like 4th or 5th date or so. I don't know how many dates we've been on, but it was the last date that we had because she was acting very strange throughout the night. And it was me and my best friend. Me and him were there. And then it was me and her because, like, we were dating. And then she brought her friend along for my best friend. Kind of be like a blind date type thing, get to know each other type thing. So... we're there with their friend, and they're just being very quiet. And I don't remember what we did earlier, but I remember the night ended at Buffalo Wild Wings. Like, we ended up eating dinner at Buffalo Wild Wings. And they weren't talking to us. They were kind of like whispering to each other and stuff. And they kept going back and forth.
Okay, who is that? So it's you and this chick, your ex.
Yeah, me and my ex, and then my best friend and her best friend.
Okay.
Yeah. So... me and my best friend, we're all, we're talking to each other like, what's going on? Because they kept going back and forth to the bathroom and stuff. And I saw her that she was on her phone a lot. And I was kind of like, that's weird. And every time I kind of try to, like, peek, like, kind of like, yeah, like, I'm kind of curious, like, because you look at your phone, you look at her, and you guys run to the bathroom. And so I was getting really aggravated. And I remember I was like, hey, who are you texting? Is everything okay? Don't worry about it. It's nothing. Okay, I'm getting kind of worried or whatever. And also, too, I'm out way past 281. Like, this is a drive for me. And so, and then we're at the Buffalo Wild Wings on 281, 1604. Then I got to drive even further to take her home and stuff like that. So I'm kind of getting aggravated and everything. So it turns out she was texting her ex-boyfriend the whole time. Like, she was actually still dating her ex-boyfriend at the time. Who she left for me,
right?
But apparently it was just to make this guy jealous.
Oh damn!
So that's why I say that's the worst date I've ever been on because later that night when we went to bed, I woke up to text messages sent at like 2:00 in the morning or so saying, hey, I can't do this to you anymore. It's not fair to you. Like, this is what's been going on in so many words. And I was like, wow. So that's what...
damn, bitch, keep it a secret.
Tell me. I was like, so that's what she was doing. She was texting this guy and going to the bathroom to talk about, I don't know what to do. I want to dump David. So that's why, she was planning the dumpage, on that date. So that's why I say that's the worst date I've ever been on.
as I'm trying to think, it was hard to think because that was an engaging story, so it's
Right.
hard to think about it too. But I don't think I had one. And that sounds funny, but I was not the type of guy to date a lot in high school. And you'll have to understand that I met Miss Teach at 17, so that's cut a lot of dating out of my life.
Right.
For a lot of people that were like in their 20s and were of the age to go on like, because we were already established. So in my 20s, like back in my day,
You're still in your 20s,
right?
asshole.
Yeah, I know. So like early 20s, so like when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, it was all with Mrs. Teach, and they were all good because we were
Right.
already established. But so before then, I mean, I didn't really go on dates because I didn't, I worked and this and that. But we would go to parties in South Dakota, and that's where I would meet girls, and I was not the nicest guy.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I remember. It's not a date. I didn't go on dates. I met girls and we'd either hook up or we didn't. And either way, I was still having a good time because we were at a party.
Right.
But I did end up getting a reputation with, like, that if I hooked up with you, I wasn't going to date you. And I remember one time I thought I was going to hook up with this one girl. And her friend, who was also my friend too, but she was more her friend than my friend.
She kind of cock-blocked you.
She totally cock-blocked me.
Yeah.
And was like, he doesn't date. He's going to just fool around and that's gonna be it. And I guess that's my worst date because we did hang out all night. We were at the party and I did my thing where I was paying attention to her all night and
right.
And I didn't get to put it in because I got cock blocked. But other than I never really did go out and take girls out on dates because there was a party. There wasn't much to do in South Dakota either because the mall was like South Park Mall. You ever been to South Park Mall?
Yeah, I've been there a couple times.
So it's a 1-story mall, right? And the mall in South Dakota, there was only one mall. It was smaller than South Park. So there was nothing to do there. They had one theater and they only played, there's only like 2 theater halls in there. So if you missed the time or if it was an awkward time, you just didn't get to go. Right. There wasn't a lot to do. So I never really had that bad of a date ever.
Yeah.
Like, it was really just, I didn't get to hook up, I guess. It would be a bad date.
I can see that. I was like, there's been times too, it's like, not dates, but like soirees or little dinners or like group dinners and stuff. And I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm going with this chick because I'm trying to get it in. But it's like, I'm going to go home. Okay, fuck, that night sucked.
See, and I never even had where I never like took a girl to a party. It was, and the thing is that we all knew each other too. Like, so it was just like,
I'm 50-50 on that. I'm 50-50 on the whole, like, party scene. Because I didn't do a lot of partying when I was in high school and, like, getting out of high school. Yeah. It's, like, my first, my first party that I ever did. Because I was working, and then also, too, I was doing, like, promotion of shows, like, for raves and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I was going to the clubs a lot when I was 18. But I was going there to see the artists, like, and I was promoting the shows. If I was doing stuff, meeting the artists or anything like that, that was always cool. So it's like, I didn't do a lot of parties. So there is that part of me that's kind of like, damn, I missed out on doing that kind of stuff, drinking and partying and everything like that, having random hookups. At the same time, I'm kind of like, that's kind of cool because then, like, I didn't want to get that kind of reputation because, guys just want to fuck at that age, it's like, that's all we think about. So I'm glad I didn't kind of have that reputation because, like I said, like I was bad. Like I was like that. I was just hooking up with chicks. Okay, deuces. I did what I needed to do, said the right things, did the right moves to, get the lay, and then that was it. So it's like I was doing that with chicks that didn't associate with my normal clique of friends and stuff, didn't have mutual friends and stuff like that. I was kind of like, okay, me and you have our own thing going on. I could fuck you, I could leave you, and then it's like, boom, I'm free. I'm never going to get snitched on. Yeah. So it's like, but...
You know what, now that I think about it, okay, here's probably my worst date, and it was a weird scenario. It's still not, because it was weird, but I had a crush on this one chick, and we were a group of friends, though, and it was like, I guess it was like 4 or 5 of us, and 3 of them were girls, and it was me and another guy, and I had a crush on this one chick, and everyone knew I did. So, and this was actually when I first got to South Dakota, so this was probably like end of freshman year, right? And I wanted to go to the movies, so we were all going to go to the movies, but they all decided that they were going to try to, like, help me out, and they all canceled, right? And this wasn't planned or anything, but they all canceled, and it ended up being me and the girl I had a crush on. So it was kind of date-esque, because I was kind of like, I see what they're doing. Me and her got what they were doing, like, right. And I had never really told her anything, but it was kind of like, okay, I see. They're making us go into this movie together. And it was a good time, though, honestly. Like, we had a good time, but she just was not into me. So, so I guess that was my worst date.
Sorry.
Yeah. Because in the beginning, when everyone canceled, I was like, you know what? Here's my chance, though, right?
Right? Like, oh, man.
But no.
Right. No, that's...
So, if that's probably, if I think about it, my worst date.
That's fair. So let us know what your worst dates are. So these questions too, these could be crowd participatory, if that's a word.
If it's really, we'll read it. Too.
I was like, yeah, we don't have to say your name. We'll just read.
Explain it in detail and tell it. Or give us the names of the piece of shits that were.
We'll call them out. We'll find them.
Yeah,
we'll be like, hey, why'd you stand up so and so? You fucking asshole.
Right.
And, so let us know. But next question.
All right, so this one I don't really understand exactly.
Let's see, read it to me.
Have you ever been part of a survey? What does that mean?
So, like maybe
I've been
one of
asked
those
questions, sure.
like maybe one of those things when you get asked into a room and it's like maybe like one of those study groups.
And see, I was thinking like a medical survey, like where you take the medicine and see what happens
I've never
to
done
you.
that.
I've never done that either.
I was like, I've never been part of a study group or survey or nothing like that.
I've been part of a survey. I mean, there was at South Park Mall. They have one where they ask you about like movies and stuff or like genres. I mean, it wasn't very interesting though. I mean, and you get paid $2. I think they give you $2 for your time, and it takes like 15 minutes. And you watch like 2 or 3 trailers, and then they just ask you questions like, was this interesting? Would you want to see this? What was your favorite part of it? Or what didn't you like about it? And you're just like, no, I wouldn't want to see this. And that's it. Or like, oh, I like this, I like this, I like that. $2. Yeah.
Right.
So.
Yeah, no, I've never been part of it. Because like at work, they have little surveys they send emails on, like, hey, what can we improve on? It's like, that's really the only things
Jacqueline, are you one of these people sending these surveys out? You're trying to get people on?
Right.
Do you make up these surveys?
I need $2, Jax, please. All right, next question.
All right. If you could be on a reality show / game show, which one would you be on? Jersey Shore.
That would be so much fun.
I would be on Jersey Shore. Me and Miss Teach still watch the reruns. We watched it when it came out all the way through. I mean, those were our dates, because before she lived with me and we were first starting college, she had come over. I was still living with my mom in our apartment, and Miss Teacher come over for Jersey Shore night, and that's what and we just, that's party culture.
Gym, tan, laundry.
Yeah.
Man, if any reality TV show or game show, that's a tough one, because it's like Family Feud, you need your family. I wouldn't trust my family.
Yeah, me neither.
Jeopardy, you have to be super smart. Unless it was like
super smart.
metal or wrestling Jeopardy, then maybe.
They'd still probably find the shit that you wouldn't know about, right? Like,
yeah, it's like
in Greek mythology, who wrestled to win the snake of purity?
I was like, what the fuck? Who was Bret Hart's trainer? Oh shit, I don't know. Yeah, like it would be crazy shit like that. Any reality show, I guess, because wrestling comes to mind. I guess Total Divas.
Oh, okay.
I was
you mentioned that on the show before.
I was like,
so
I like that show.
That
Yeah, I was like, I like the show because it shows how the wrestlers really are, kind of, when they're not on screen and stuff. So, yeah, I would do Total Divas.
Total Divas. Cool. Okay. Have you ever been catfished?
No.
I was already in a committed relationship before catfish was a thing. So.
Yeah, I was like, catfish kind of came out towards the end of my dating career.
Yeah.
So I never got to experience that. And that I assume kind of associate more with online dating, which I didn't do online dating. I've always done person to person. This is not like an ivory tower thing, but I don't really understand online dating. I don't get it. I don't know. It seems weird.
Yeah, it seems really weird. Mrs. Teach likes to watch the show Catfish, so I know what catfishing is. But
I laugh at everything on
when
that show.
I was dating before Mrs. Teach, catfish wasn't a thing. You didn't meet people. It was if they didn't send you, if they didn't FaceTime you or FaceTime, that wasn't anything either. If they didn't
Skype you,
if you didn't have them on MySpace, if they didn't have MySpace or whatever, and they didn't have like a lot of pictures that you knew who they were, you knew they were fake, and that was it.
Right.
But I watch these shows now where they're like, well, we've been together online for 7 years, but they can never FaceTime, and they never want to meet up, and They can't ever, send a real-time photo, but I just love them and I know it's true. It's like,
Right.
obviously they're not real. And,
I know it's gonna be real.
Right.
I already feel it.
like, obviously, fucking the supermodel isn't into your fucking crazy ass. Like,
Right. Or the one person that got catfished because somebody created a profile as Katy Perry and they were like dating Katy Perry and then they met him. It was like some old man or something. So like, so I like Catfish. I've always thought that show was stupid, and I still think it's stupid.
I do too.
It's but when we were in Vegas this past summer, like I think it was either night 2 or night 3, when we got back to the hotel at like 3:00 in the fucking morning, and then I'm like fucking starving from raving all night. Leslie's crashing out, so I went down to the casino, bought some pizza, and walked back up. The only thing on at fucking 4:00 in the morning was Catfish on MTV, and they were doing like a whole marathon. I stayed up till like 7 in the morning watching fucking Catfish. And each time I'm like, fucking dumbass.
Yeah.
I'm like, of course. They don't have any pictures of their face on their fucking profile. Like, oh, you idiot.
I fought the show for so long when Mrs. T's watching it, but nowadays if it's on and she's watching
I still haven't seen it since.
I'm just like, whatever. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, you fucking idiot. Just like, duh. Like,
that was like a show.
Stupid is that? Like,
that was like a show. Going off away from the questions real quick. Now, I remember seeing a post a long time ago that says, like, there's just something different about being in a hotel on vacation. Uh-huh. You don't do things you usually do. You don't watch shows you usually do. It's a different environment. Because I find myself, when I'm in hotels, I watch TBS a lot. Mm-hmm. TBS, where they usually show, like, Family Guy or reruns of The Office or so.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of SVU when I've been in hotels. Like, I just noticed, like, well, it's like, yeah, I like Law and Order, like, to watch at home and stuff, but it feels like I'm, like, when I'm on vacation, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, SVU is on, fuck yeah.
I wonder if it's because that aspect of it's, like, homey, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of brings you back.
I guess that, because, like, I would, like, if I'm at home and it was like, oh, Catfish is on, I'd be like, fuck that, like, skip. But it's like when I was in Vegas,
out of town,
I was like, yeah, let me watch this shit here.
I think it has to do with like,
let me binge this shit.
This kind of reminds me of, Leslie at home watching this, so let me watch it too. I also like to think of like, when this stupid crazy stuff comes on and Neve is the host, right?
Yeah.
And he always acts all surprised. I'm like, oh, look at Neve. You know what that face of Neve is? Is like, this is good fucking TV, and you catch all this shit. Neva doesn't really give a fuck if you're finding them. Neva's going, this is drama, and this
like,
is cash.
This
money.
is
like,
my paycheck.
People will be watching this bullshit because
that was the whole thing, right? He got catfish, so he made this show or whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking
even
pussy.
now, we were watching an episode, I don't know, the other day or something, and one of them was like, it had, weren't you on the show before? And I'm like, this motherfucker set them up. Like, Neve was like, hey,
have you
ratings
catfished
are down. It would be a real big shock if you could, catfish your cousin or something, and we'll bring you back on the show. We'll fly out. You can be on TV. We good? And there's Neve going like, we've seen the girl before. It's like, get the fuck. I'm very skeptical about all
we have
TV.
seen this. This has never before been on Catfish.
Yeah, right. So, okay, Catfish.
Yeah,
so, no, I haven't.
No, I've never been catfished either.
And I don't think I ever would, because I'm skeptical about my life in general. So
I was like, I'm sorry if you have been catfished, but come on. That's all I can say. Come on. It sucks.
Right.
But come
Couldn't
on.
buy into the fantasy.
Yeah, it's
much.
like, talk to people.
Right. Okay. Talk about a time you caught someone in a lie. Oh, okay. Caught someone in a lie. I'm trying to think of a juicy one, I guess.
I was like, I don't know. It's like, working in a call center, especially with something like insurance, I've caught people in tons of lies. Wait, I thought you said this, ma'am. Yeah. And so it's like, but I was like, as far as like a personal interaction, no. Unless it was like something in like high school drama or something, or like school drama.
Nothing really comes to mind for me either, personally.
Yeah.
Nothing that's that interesting. A lie.
I've been like, oh, I thought you said you weren't hungry, but you ate. Oh, yeah.
Ultimate betrayal.
You fucking asshole. No, can't. No, I can't think of anything.
Yeah. I mean, I have like family skeletons, but they're not really like,
I
caught them or anything. It wasn't like a big...
It's kind of more like a, oh.
Right, like, okay.
All the
this-
chisme.
Right. So, I'm sorry.
No, sorry about that, Jax. What's the next one?
I'm pretty drama free, so.
Frey.
Have you ever had a horror scare? Open parentheses, like someone terrified you where you couldn't move, or like a ghost story, close parentheses.
Oh, like a horror story. No, I will say this. I do believe in ghosts and aliens and all that stuff. I really do believe in that. Like, so, no, like, I've seen tons of horror movies, and this is, I'm going to kind of digress a little bit here. I've seen tons of horror movies. I've never been scared by a horror movie. I've like, every movie, scary movie, I do air quotes, every movie I've ever seen, I've never been like, oh, I've never, the jump scares have never worked on me. I've never been like, ooh, this is creepy. Nothing has ever scared me. I usually laugh at everything because I have a sick, fucked up mind. So, like, bloody and gory movies, I'm like, fuck yeah, kill him. But, like, anytime I watch stuff about, like, aliens in particular, I'm not afraid of aliens per se, but, like, when they capture the UFO and, like, the music they play, and it's like, is this a sign from another dimension? And this kind of stuff. So that kind of, like, it gives me the goosebumps, and my hair stands up, and kind of like,
So...
And I can't watch it, because I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Okay, so ghosts, I don't believe in ghosts, to be honest, like, at all. And in Buddhism, there's an aspect of realms called the hungry ghost, but even that, for me, you can section off depending on who you are, but hungry ghosts are supposed to be that they're always yearning for stuff, they never get it. So to me, that's just an aspect of life. Mm-hmm. There are some people that are hungry ghosts psychologically because they're never full, they're always scavenging, they never, just enjoy the moment. So it's more psychological than really ghosts to me. So ghosts, I don't really buy into. Aliens, I do believe in them only in the aspect of, like, statistically, how big the universe is and how much we don't know about it. There's got to be other life forms just so vastly far away from us that there's never been any contact. I don't believe that we've had any contact, though, with them.
Like Area 51, you don't
I don't believe in it. No, because, and Stephen Hawking's actually, his input on
RIP
aliens, are that, which is interesting that we're talking about aliens. He has come and said, he's like, statistically, there are other life forms out there. The universe is too fucking
There
vast
has to be.
and so big, we're not the only ones here. But, he goes, but they're so far away, and if they were ever to be able to make contact with us and get here, that means their technology would have to be so advanced, so powerful, that if they could make it to us and make contact, they wouldn't even see us as people. We wouldn't be on the same level as them. They would probably see us as a pile of ants. And what does a kid do with a pile of ants? Depending on who the kid is, stomps on them.
I did a magnifying glass.
Puts poison through them. They're just kind of in the way. Ants are just in the way. We just fuck them up because of where we are looking down at the ant. If the aliens who are so far away, they have to be. They're not anywhere close to us because we've been close to us and they're not there.
Right.
And we can't go any farther because we don't have the technology. So if they do have that technology, they're crazy advanced, crazy powerful, crazy smart. They would not see us as... They wouldn't be compassionate with us because why be compassionate? Right. So I believe in aliens, but I don't believe we've had ever any contact.
No. See, that's the whole thing because, like, when I was younger, like, dude, fuck, like, the whole Area 51 thing, like the alien autopsy pictures and all that kind of shit, like, that really intrigued me as a kid. Like, as a kid, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and then also too in the whole crop circle thing, because that was also too, because I was in elementary school. I think I was in like first grade when Signs came out, and that came out at like the peak of my alien interest. Yeah, and I remember that movie freaking me out as a little kid when the scene where he's all like the footage we're about to show you may be disturbing, and it's the alien walks by like, I'm feeling myself about to get a little bit all chilly here, but I remember screaming as a kid, oh my god!
And then that movie too, because they've shown how people can make crop circles, right?
Yeah, with the planks.
But in the movie, they were like, "Oh, it's so perfect, 90 degrees, right?" Whereas like someone
these weren't the Duffer Brothers or whatever.
That never happened in real life, though. That was the movie aspect. So I don't know. And also, as Stephen Hawking says, if there are aliens, we don't want to make contact with them. Stop trying to find them because if they come, you don't know if they're gonna.
You know, and the whole thing, because the UFO aspect, and we're getting really technical about this, because the whole UFO thing literally stands for unidentified flying object. Doesn't mean
Right.
it's a spaceship. It doesn't mean it's
Right.
a
No, yeah.
alien. It just means like that's
We just don't know what it is.
what the fuck's floating. What's the fuck flying in the sky? Have I ever told you? I swear I've seen a UFO.
Yeah.
I told you this story.
Never told me.
Okay. Dude, so this was the scariest fucking thing. I had a viral video. It only got like 400 something views. Cause it was when Leslie and I first started dating, and I dropped her off at the house. I forgot what we did that day, but I dropped her off and I was on the way home. So, cause she lives all the way out, used to live all the way out by Traders Village, right? All the way out, Five Palms area, right? That's the best way I could describe it.
Yeah.
So I'm driving down 410. And when I'm driving down 410, I'm kind of getting past the, like, Marbach area. I see something fly by. Like, way high. I'm not saying, like, right next to me. Like, it's in the sky. I'm, whatever, right? Didn't give two shits about it. I see, like, and I made a hand motion, but something just stops in the middle of the sky. It's a flashing red light. Airplane, helicopter, whatever, right? Don't pay it no mind again. Take the exit off of 410, get on the 151. Something's just blinking. And I'm like, again, not paying it that much attention, because, you know, you have those red towers or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. You know, those cell phone towers or whatever you call them. So I'm driving, two more lights pop up out of nowhere. And I'm like, the hell is that? I'm kind of like, and then it goes further away. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? So now it's kind of like, ha ha ha, what's going on? Ha ha, in my mind. Dude, is that a UFO? Ha ha, yeah, whatever, shut up. You'll never see that in your entire lifetime. So then it starts circling around, and I'm like, what the fuck? Now, this is over in the area by, like, 151 going towards SeaWorld. Mm-hmm. So now, and mind you, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm driving super slow on the highway. I'm doing, like, 45 because I'm watching this thing like, dude, what the fuck is this? And it just stops, and it's hovering above the Holiday Inn that's on 151. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, this is very delusional, but I'm going to pull out my phone and start recording this shit. So I'm recording it, and I'm like, ooh, okay, this is whatever, right? I'm like, you know, I'm talking the video, I was like, I don't know, I saw these things flying, you know, this and that. Okay, whatever. And then, it stays steady for a few seconds, like the lights. It goes away. And then it comes back brighter. And I'm like, what the fuck? So then I finally get home because I'm like, I can't veer off on the highway anymore. So I get home, I rewatch the video, and within that, like on the video, it's a triangle form. Like it's a triangle. I'm trying to make a triangle with my fingers. And I'm looking at it, and you can see a shape in the sky that's darker than the rest of the sky. And you can see something kind of under the lights, like a shadow type thing. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I was freaking out. I posted the video on Facebook, started getting shared and stuff. David, what the fuck did you just see? You saw some government shit, bro. This is that. And I was kind of like, oh, I guess that could be my horror story or my paranormal story. I don't know why I didn't think of it right there. Yeah. So I was like, what the? Leslie, oh my God. So like, if you bring the story up in front of Leslie will just be like, oh. She's like, this is not his proudest moment. Dude, I saw a UFO. I'm not saying they were aliens or nothing.
Okay.
But I saw something. I don't know what the fuck that was, but it was flying.
But unidentified to you.
Right, yeah. I was like...
I mean, I appreciate the story. And everyone, not everyone, but there are a lot of stories like that. I am cynical, like my Facebook jerk of the week. I am cynical. And
fuck you, bro.
Yeah, and I am skeptical of a lot of things. And it just automatically goes to like... Most things that are extraordinary like that, I automatically just... Even if I don't have the answer to it, I'm just like...
There has to be something to it.
There's something more.
Yeah, and I'm guarantee you it was probably something just flying, you know.
But it was I agree that it is a UFO.
And especially like 2 in the morning, and I'm just driving like, what the fuck is that?
Within your context, though.
Exactly.
For you, because it could
it's
be
not
very
something I'm used to seeing.
for if it was the military or the government.
Oh, look, plane.
Right, you know,
like,
yeah.
But that was freaky, and I'm like I said, I'm not saying they were aliens, or I'll joke and say like, oh yeah, dude, I almost got abducted.
But I mean, I appreciate the fact that it could be. Actually, I need one more break.
This is going to be our lengthiest episode because I'm down for tonight, man.
I am too.
Alrighty,
we're back.
Yay! All right. Third time, yeah, man, because we're already at hour 52, which, I mean, it may be different because, after editing and stuff, but as we're recording right now, we're at an hour and 52 minutes.
I haven't dropped any names yet.
Have been no name drops, there hasn't been anything that needs to be edited, so you guys are going to get the full 2 fucking hours of this episode, which...
And last week was or the week before was sweet because they got 2 episodes right off the bat.
Yeah, they did. So,
was 15
and
16.
clearly people listen to it because they've got over 30 views, so... So a longer episode shouldn't be bad. It's just longer episode.
Just if it's too long, just pause it.
Yeah, pause it. Come back to it
later. Yeah.
It's like watching Game of Thrones. You
YouTube
can't watch...
is good for it because Game of Thrones, and YouTube is good for this because it saves your spot too. Mm-hmm. So you just come back to it.
So does the iTunes and Google Music and everything.
Oh, okay. So there you go.
So moving right along to email part 2.
Yep.
First kiss.
When did you have
your first kiss? I had mine freshman year of high school. Mm-hmm. Dated this girl named Carissa. Well, no, don't want to say date. We were quote unquote together for 3 days, and got a kiss on my birthday. Oh. And then that was it. Yeah, I was like, got a kiss.
How was it?
We're boyfriend and girlfriend. I don't know. I guess it was just like
tonguage?
No, there was no tongue. It was more like
it's
kind of like because I don't think she's ever kissed anyone. It was my first time kissing someone that was not my mom or like a family member or something. It was kind of just like and I don't know, no sparks or nothing. I mean, as a teenager, as a kid, holy shit, I just kissed a girl. Oh my god. Oh. But so freshman year, 2009.
Mine was 8th grade.
Oh, you just had to one up me. Okay, man.
Had to. It was it might have been 7th grade, but I kind of get mixed up. I get mixed up with 7th and 8th because that's when I moved back down to San Antonio from Wichita Falls. But it was interesting. I remember it only because the girl was fucking crazy. So when I moved back down to San Antonio from Wichita Falls in 7th grade, I didn't know anyone. I was a shy kid. I was a nervous kid. I didn't approach it, and I was a big kid, which was not helpful for me because people didn't approach me, and I didn't approach anyone else either. So I was pretty loner for that second half of middle school moving. And I met the girl because she had moved down here too, and I don't remember from where exactly, but. She was cute. I think she was like a redhead, white girl, but she was different. She was definitely more advanced in certain things, and come to find out, it was because she had a rougher lifestyle than I did, but I think she approached me initially, and that's how we got to talking, and then we started dating, right, because in 8th grade, check yes or no, whatever, right?
Fucking fold it.
And I remember kissing her. I used to walking from school. I used to walk with her because she lived like a block or 2 up from me from school. So we would walk together, and I was like in love. Like I was so. I mean, it wasn't another thing. I was so like because I had never been,
right.
And we had kissed, and I always remember the next day was the Poteet Strawberry Festival, and I went with my parents to that, right? And she couldn't. I had invited her, and they had said it would be okay for her to go, but she couldn't go, and I was just so obsessed with her, for that next day because we had just kissed,
right?
And, I didn't want to eat anything at the thing. I was just like, I just wanted to win her like a prize or this and that, at the Poteet Festival. And
they say that when you're in love, you're not hungry or whatever.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was just infatuated, just because I was, so little. But okay, so here's what happened was that we end up. She ends up. My family ends up. I think we went to Cece's and we brought her somewhere.
Classy.
Right? Yeah, little Cece's, and we're eating. And I went to go get pizza or whatever. And they're talking to the girl, my parents, and I didn't really know all of this either, but. They were asking her questions, as like parents do, just to kind of get a sense of her, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I had to move down because I was like doing coke and marijuana and pot, and I was in trouble." And we're little though, right? So I guess, and she was just way more advanced in everything than I was. I didn't know all this either. I didn't hear about this, but when we got home and we dropped, my parents were like, you cannot see this girl. Like,
You need to stop talking to her.
You have to stop talking to her. Like, yeah, that's exactly what they did tell me. And I was a very good kid as a kid. And it was heartbreaking because
My first love.
I was like, what? And they were like, look, I thought she was going to say, even when she started talking about having a troubled past, I thought she was talking about pop, but she's talking about coke and this and that, and she's like just telling us, like, you know, not even hiding it. She's like,
have 8 ball in my pocket right
and
now.
actually, that's because I didn't know that. And at the time, I mean, we were in 8th, 7th. I don't remember. I think it was either early 8th or end of 7th
middle
grade.
school.
Yeah. And I remember being like, oh fuck, I didn't know that shit either. Like, that kind of scared me too, though. She was a little too. And then after that, I did notice how she was different. She had like issues though, like I think she was like abused and stuff and like all that stuff. So that was my first kiss, and that's why I remember that too, because it was weird. Like it was.
It was like I remember talking like in middle school, like not kissing, or we weren't boyfriend and girlfriend or nothing, but I remember like having a crush on like a goth girl, like an emo type girl, and because I remember she said, she goes, "Oh, I know who Iron Maiden is," and that made my dick like I was like, "You know who Iron Maiden is?" And like she would talk to me about like cutting herself and like taking her mom's pills and this and that. Right. And I'd be like, okay, yeah, cool, yeah, that sounds cool. Like I would do that too if well, no, on the like I was trying to play it cool. And I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds dope or tight. Remember when people say tight?
Right.
That's tight.
Oh,
but on the end, I remember going home. Oh my god, like this girl I think this chick likes me too. Oh no, like, that's scary.
I remember it flipped the switch though. Actually, even I was I don't know what happened later on, but at that time, well, my parents had told me all that, and they were like, you need to distance yourself from her. It wasn't. I remember being like, yeah, no kidding. Like,
shit,
this
for
bitch
real.
is crazy. Like, I'm not about that either. Like, so yeah, I remember that, my first kiss.
First kiss. Oh, young love.
All right, so the next one. Talk about a time you were rejected and or rejected someone else.
Man, so
plenty of stories of being rejected.
I was like, I was a very ugly teen, very acne-filled, braces, thick glasses.
I had bad acne. Did you have?
Dude, I had
bad acne.
I didn't have bad enough to where I needed the pills, but I think it's because like I was like scrubbing the shit out of my face. Because my dad...
that does not help. That irritates it more.
Because apparently I get my bad acne from my dad's side of the family. Because apparently my dad had to take like those really big horse pills for acne. Because he apparently was like bad with pimples. Like, so luckily I never got to that pimple stage. But I got to the point where I remember seeing like a Proactiv commercial for the first time. Like crying on my knees, Mom, please buy me Proactiv. But she was like, no, just use soap. And I'm like, okay. The Mexican in her just fucking
start washing your face more.
Yeah, I was like, just don't pick at your face. Even though she's the one, let me pop these pimples.
Yeah,
like,
oh my god,
fucking Mexican. Yeah, and her sister, my aunt Beatty, couldn't fucking go over to my grandparents' house or Aunt Beatty's house. Let me see your face. Come over here. And I'm like, no, because she had nails. But yeah, so I was a very ugly teen. I'm ashamed of myself. I still feel I'm ugly now, but I'm like, I feel I'm doing a lot better than what I was back then. I would always have to play it off and be like, no, I was just kidding. My friend dared me to come over here because I'd be so embarrassed. Like, I'd be like, hey, I really like you. You know, I think we should like maybe talk or like you can. Do you want to sit together at lunch? You know, those kind of things. You know, being in school. We can sit over here. I can take you to the theater hall at lunch. We could eat. No.
Can I walk you to the bus?
Right, yeah, let me walk you to your bus. So, like, my bus usually is right behind you, so it's right there. Right? Fucking middle school pickups. Yeah. No, the worst I can think I've been rejected is where I went to go talk to, it was my freshman year. And I remember, because that's what like, my freshman year, I was so obsessed with getting a girlfriend. Because, like, I had crushes, and, like in middle school, I had girls that liked me, and I liked them back, but we never did anything, like, talked about, oh, are we boyfriend, girlfriend, or anything like that. So, but I was just remember coming into freshman, like, oh, only the cool kids have girlfriends, you have to have a girlfriend. And I remember I went up to a junior, when I was a freshman, she was on the dance team, and I asked her, I was like, hey, do you want to go to homecoming with me? And her and all her friends all laughed at me.
Oh.
Like, ah! And like, and then like...
God, that is the worst
And I was
scenario.
like... And I'm there, acne-ridden freshman, fucking polo and tight jeans, all... okay. And oh my god, I remember my face got all
She laughed
red.
too?
What's up?
The girl that you asked was laughing too, or just her friends?
She laughed, like, she just started laughing.
Because, sometimes the girls, like, and then her friends are being dicks, but, like, the girls, it's worse if the girls laughing too.
Yeah, the girl was laughing, and I was just like, and I just walked away, and I was just like, fuck, that was embarrassing.
Damn.
And I felt my face getting red. Like, you know how you just, like, I don't feel like I want to cry, but my eyes just get watery, I'm just like, oh god, okay. And then, like, I remember just, like, running away. And the worst, I kind of stumbled, too, as I'm running away, so it was just a bad situation. That's the worst rejection I could think of, because it's just been like...
What about rejecting someone?
Rejecting someone? It wasn't so much rejecting, like I said, I was a bad guy coming out of high school. There was this chick, and it sounds terrible, like this chick that I was trying so hard to bang, like so hard. Finally did it, and then just fucking I deleted her number and just like whatever. And so then like she came up to me, I forgot where, I think at Northwest Vista, and she was all like, "Oh, what's going on?" And I remember telling her, not one of my proudest moments, I was like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah.
But I'm like, and I have my friends there, and I'm like, I don't know who you are. Leave me alone.
You did it to her what had happened to you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not my proudest moment.
What a dick.
For real. And all my friends, fuck that bitch. Like I tapped her once, but that was it. Like,
all the, it sucks to be working with kids now. I'm like, now I remember all the stupid shit they think that is cool.
Right.
And and then there's a group of them that you can't even like reason with them because they all are like band together. Like, yeah, it scares me as a teacher to walk into that again.
So there's the both. Like I said, I'm not proud of that, and like that's. So I got my karma. Like I was talking about my worst date, and then I got all oh my god, and then ended up getting my heart ripped out of my chest. So that's what I'm saying. I stopped doing that. Met Leslie, fell in love. So
it all works out. All right, okay. Rejected someone. When I lost my virginity, I was 16. I was a sophomore, and it was Halloween that year, whatever that year was. And I had actually been with the girl for like a month or so before, and she was a really sweet girl, but she was a homely looking girl. But I really liked her. She was a handsome woman. So she was not my type, right? She was definitely
a handsome woman. God damn it!
And the thing was that she wouldn't like. I remember when I first my buddy, I used to bug them. What had happened. Looking back on it now, I realized what was going on was that I was bugging my buddy and his girlfriend all the time because I was always tagging along. I was the third reel. And I never realized that I was the third reel. I was just like, let's all hang out forever. Like,
these are my best friends.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so they, set us up. And initially I was like, yeah, definitely not. But then at the same time I was like, well, maybe. Because I think maybe I could, right? Because it was my first time and I was this and that. And even the first night we, spent the night together. And I got her topless and this and that, but she wouldn't, we didn't do it or whatever. Yeah, so, but I was like, you know what? She was cool, though. She was really a cool person. So we started dating. It was, a month into it, and then whatever. Halloween, we hooked up. And we stayed together for a while. She was actually probably one of my, I've only had, 3 girlfriends. Serious girlfriends that I, dated for a substantial amount of time. And she was probably my second one. And we dated, and then I kind of got into the groove of how to talk to girls and and I was experimenting with alcohol and and pot and stuff, and I was going to parties. And so I was a sophomore, and she was a junior, but she had graduated early. She was super smart. She had graduated early as a junior, and she had a scholarship for art at the local college at the time. So she was She was in college at the time, too, even though we were only a year and a half apart. Mm-hmm. So that was weird, too, though, because she was just, way more mature than me. Way more mature. Already she's a year, but just mentally, you know what I'm saying? She was already in college, graduated high school, on a scholarship. No, she had braces, so it was. It was
I was doing a dick
and-
sucking gesture.
Yeah.
So.
And the thing was is that I was just a horn dog at the time, and I did.
What teenage boy wasn't? You know
Right,
what I mean?
and
Like,
I really do. That was probably my first love, I think, because I really did fall in love with her. As I was comfortable with her, I was,
seen her tits, so.
yeah, you know what I mean. Like I had never been with that with someone else before either. But she was not the type of. She was a smart girl. Not that a smart girl can't be sexually active, but she was definitely not into as much sex stuff as
Right.
and for our age or whatever. So that was always a rift, and I started going out more. And I would invite her out, but it's a small town too, right? So she knew all these people, and I would get invited to parties, and I would be like, come with me, and she didn't want to go because she knew who they were, and she was kind of an outcast too, and she didn't want to go. And now I get it, but at the time I was like, let's just go and drink and have a good time, but she would never go. So I would go by myself, and I ended up starting like hooking up with other girls.
Right.
So and then eventually it wasn't that long. I think I hooked up with like one girl while I was still with her, and I felt like shit about it. So I realized that it wasn't like, okay, I need to stop that and focus on her. It was more like, I don't want to be with her anymore. I want to pursue this.
That's the thing. Not to interrupt you, to kind of veer off of that real quick. Because, so, like I was talking about, my first kiss was this girl I got together on my birthday. It lasted like 3-4 days, whatever, right? I don't even consider that as an ex. I was just like, oh, that's weird high school thing.
Yeah.
So I dated one girl all of high school. Like, after that Carissa chick, I dated this girl named Andrea for 4 years. Freshman, we broke up the summer of freshman year going into sophomore year, but we got back together sophomore year, and we dated from sophomore all the way to graduation. And she went to NYU. She went to school in New York.
Wow.
So, and here's the thing. Again, I was the bigger horn dog and everything, right? Like, I'm the one, anytime she came over to the room, just touch it, just touch it, just touch it. Like, can I just show it to you?
Just
like,
show me your tits. Can I just suck on her tits and jerk off?
yes, like, please. I would say that.
Yeah,
I'd be like,
I know what you're
just like, can I just lay on top of you and let my,
Right,
the pants
right,
rub and,
right,
and I would do that. And, so, oh man, everybody is the same person.
Yeah.
Different, like,
We're teenage boys. We're all the same dirty
just
bastards.
fucking look at it. Just, can you just tell me you think about my dick?
Spit on it, like,
Can you just stare at the pants real quick? Just please. So fucking. So yeah, so all. And she, down on each other, all this, we experimented kind of things. And this is a girl I did lose my virginity to, but we only had sex twice. The whole 4 years we dated, we had sex twice. We had sex on prom night. Even though we didn't go to prom, we just veered off and fucked. Which wasn't even fucking. I had like an inch and a half in her. And she was like, oh, this hurts. And it came. Because I was like, I'm in a vagina, no way. Like, oh my God. So, and then fucked sometime in the summer. So then after she went to New York, because like when I would talk about a relationship and stuff, and talk about how like, oh, a relationship is hard work. I'm trying to sound all philosophical and everything. There was girls that were like, damn, well, I really wish you were single and this and that. So I was like, oh. And so, yeah, after she went to New York, I kind of learned how to pick up chicks and shit.
Yeah.
So I was like, while she was in New York, I was down here fucking anything that moved or anything that showed me any type of attention. So I understand that. Like, oh, wait, I see how this works now. Like, I'm getting it. So.
And I felt bad because I really did like her, though. Like, she really was. And we had been dating for a while because when I found a good thing, I stuck with it,
right.
with her. That sounds horrible. I just feel
like
fucking
pig.
I know we really were into each other, and she liked me, and I liked her, and we did it. It was for a good time for a little while. It was a good time. And it was funny because she was just so artsy. She was very artsy, very kind of hipster before hipster was a thing, though.
Right.
She had a pixie cut. She was very hipster type of girl. Art major, art scholarship, even, going to college on it. So, and even then, I would call her like babe, but I would call her babe because it was an endearing title, but she would call me babe because it was like funny. Like she was like making fun of
babe.
The way of saying that, or she would call me honey or dear, like, but it was like a joke because
honey,
but we never are on that level of sarcasm because we kind of were, and I kind of got it, and she kind of got it, but we're just whatever.
Right.
Anyway, so I ended up, I did cheat on her. I felt like shit about it. And so I was like, you know what, I need to end it. So that's when I went to her place, and I used to stay the night at her house. You know, I knew her parents. I used to play pool with her dad. Like, we were
Right.
In a relationship, and I just was like, you know, I really need to talk to you. I think it was the only time I've really broken up with someone, and I really was sad about it. I think the only other person I broke up was the girl I was dating before I met Mrs. Teach. While I was actually dating her when I met Mrs. Teach, and I dated both of them for like the week. But her name was Becky. Becky was Rebecca, but it was Becky. I can't think of her last name now, but and her family lived the Dallas Cowboys, which was funny because everyone likes the Vikings up there, you know.
Right.
But they even named their first son Dallas. And here's the thing: was that even then Dallas was in the cool crowd for South Dakota. I used to meet up with him at parties. We would meet each other. We didn't mean to meet, but we'd be at the same party. And he's the one that started giving me like ecstasy and like pot and coke. Right. We used to party together. I was very entwined with this girl, but at the same time, I would hook up with girls in front, I would be hooking up with girls in front of the brother. Right. Which was just weird. So I ended up with Becky. And that was the first time I rejected. And that was horrible and awkward and just horrible. And I just always remember her going, crying, because I was like, I want to break up, And we weren't doing good for a while because I was going out a lot. Not really paying attention. And I would always invite her, though, but she always would tell me no. She would always say no, always say no. And so I was like, well, I'm going to go out. I'm like, I'm inviting you to go out. You don't want to go, I'm going to go.
Right, like I'm still going to do what I want to do.
So we were fighting about that a lot. And I just remember her crying and going, I was like, do you even want to be with me? Do you even want to stay together and work this out? And she said, honey, I would like to. And that thing, because it was like, the way it was like half like, well, that's how she joked, calling me honey. Yeah. Like we were an old couple. So that kind of was like a little bit of tinge. Yeah. No, it was a tinge of like sadness, because like, that was the way she kind of showed. Talk to each other. Because she was like kind of embarrassed about being so close, and that's how she kind of shielded it, but it was being close. Yeah. And at the same time, I was like, see, you're still fucking sarcastic, and like you still, even right now, you're being funny or trying to be funny. Right. So it was very awkward and very weird. So that was me rejecting someone.
What about you being rejected?
Me being rejected. Drink break.
Drink break. Man, I finished my drinks. No. But I'm pretty inebriated, so it's okay.
Okay. Well, let me know. I got plenty. Right. There's beer too. Oh, well, there's vodka, and I'll have a soda though. But
you're good.
Being rejected. So another time, my friend at the time was like 19, and I was 16, right? And he was my buddy that I used to go out with a lot. And then of course he knew girls that were like 21, 22, 23. So this one time we go to a party, right? And he tells everyone, my birthday was like the next, like that weekend or something or whatever. It was in a few days. And I was actually going to turn 17. But we told them that I was going to be 22. That was I was going to be 22. And I'm tall, so I could kind of pull it off. And the girl was 23. I hooked up with her because she thought I was going to be 22 that week, and she was 23, so it all was kosher.
And you were turning 17.
I was 16.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
I was 16 at the time. Ooh. Her name was Tatum. So, and she wasn't even anything spectacular either, but for me at the time, I'm like 16-year-old, 23-year-old.
Right, you feel like the man.
Insane. And she lived with her friend. They had like a trailer. She and her girlfriend lived in a trailer. And so it was like a little part, like a little kickback. And we were in the bathroom, and I just remember doing it on the bathroom. And you could hear us though. Right. But I was like, bam! And then all you hear is like my friend going, Pong! And like and she was like, stop fucking into. Right, I was being a kid. I was 16 years old. Right? God. I was just going ape shit. So anyway, so actually, and here was the thing too, is that we hadn't. I had convinced her to not use a condom. Ooh. And this was, again, use a condom, kids, because that's retarded not to do that. But I was 16, and whatever. I did have some, but they were in my truck. and you had to park far and stuff. It's whatever. I told
It
her,
was
like,
easier just to fuck without the condom.
basically, because
yeah.
I was like, I do have them in my car, and I'm like, you want me to go get them? She's like, shut up, you know, like
Yeah,
just do it.
Fuck me. Like,
And then actually, so when we finished though, she started crying because like
Oh, no.
she wasn't like that type of girl, and like. And without the condom was even worse because she felt really like scared and like, you know,
like,
freaking out. And we just kind of like, we fell asleep together, right? And I was trying to comfort her the whole night. So it was a nice night for me.
For me.
And so come to find out, the next time we hung out, right? So it had been like maybe a week. The next week we go to hang out, and I asked, my buddy was 19, right? And I was 16, and I had just turned 17 at the time, but he used to buy me my cigarettes. I used to buy cigarettes. So I go to him, and I'm like, hey, can you go buy my smokes? Quietly. And he looks at, not the girl I hooked up with, but her friend was like, hey, you mind going to buy the Teach some smokes? And they were like, why? And he was like, because he's not 18 yet. And they were like, he forgot that I was 22.
The ploy.
And they were like, or he actually said he's not old enough, and they were like, not old enough to buy smokes, and then they looked at each other like, and then they looked at my friend, his name was Jay, and Jay looked at me like, oh shit, and they're like, how fucking old are you? I was like, I just turned 17, and the girl Tatum like went white, like went fucking white, and like ran to her room, locked the door, freaked out. They kicked us out, right? They're freaking out. Come to find out, anyways, I had tried to message her because I was like, at 16, I'm like, we could date. I don't know if like, like I'm cool with it. She worked at the Bath and Body Works at the mall, the one
Right.
little mall. And,
I know where she is.
I didn't mean to. I was actually just out with my friends, but when we went to Bath and Body Works, it had been like a couple weeks after the fact. You know, she wouldn't respond to me. I had her phone number at the time, and she wouldn't respond. She didn't answer this and that, and I just kind of blew it off, whatever. But when we were walking around and we went to Bath and Body Works, I saw her. And I just wanted to go, at least just to like, whatever, save my piece or something. She fucking ran to the back room. And I never talked to her again.
Wow.
So that was me being rejected.
Dang.
And I felt like a shithead too, because I was like, well, I did kind of make her engage in statutory rape. So
Right, I was like, Jesus
that's
Christ.
pretty fucked up.
Man, fuck you. That's your worst rejection story. Mine is I'm getting laughed at, humiliated. Yours is, well, I still got sex out of it. It's like, fuck that story. Nah.
Well, I feel like that's the most. But I was a fat kid before then too, because I used to do a lot of stupid shit around that when I didn't eat a lot. But before then, like in middle school, before I moved down here and in Wichita Falls, I had rejection stories where, but I was kind of like, I just asked anyone to be my girlfriend. If I thought you were required,
okay.
I'd just be like, you want to be my girlfriend? And they're like, no. So I have like
No.
30 of those. So
Man.
just know that. Those are like a dime a dozen though, like for me. So.
Right. It was like, you were a fat kid and got your dick wet? Fuck this.
Well, I wasn't a fat kid in South Dakota because I was doing a lot of like extracurriculars where I didn't eat a lot.
Fuck. Well, yeah, I got rejected. I fucked her and then she left. And I'm like, all fucked up. Nah, that's cool.
You know, it's funny because I kind of thought, I was like, this makes me sound still kind of good, even though it's a rejection story. But that's the most intricate one. That's the most dramatic one. So
it's good radio. It's good podcast talk. So that's what matters. What's the next question? I think we got time for one or two more.
There's a few more. Okay. What was your first addiction?
First addiction.
Funko Pops.
Yeah, so I've never collected anything. I don't want to say I've been.
Oh, the next question is, what was the first time you collected?
Oh, okay.
So is there a distinction of addiction and collections?
I was like, I've never been addicted to anything. I guess you could say soda. As like I've always drinking soda. Mm-hmm. It's like, but I never drank it to get energy or like drinking it like, oh, I need. Well, no, let me take that back because yeah, anytime I tried to stop drinking soda, I'd be like, oh, well, let me stop, like, cold turkey. Mm-hmm. And that first 2 days, I would have the migraines and be like, oh, fuck me, because it's that caffeine withdrawal. Yeah. So, that's why I said, let me backtrack. Let me say that, the whole soda thing. But honestly, what kicked me off of that is because on Super Bowl Sunday, I went to Topgolf for the first time, and I went with my buddy's friend. Because my buddy from work was holding a Super Bowl party thing at his house, and he was out doing stuff, getting ready for that, and I posted on Facebook, that's when I wanted to do golfing. And so he was like, oh, well, let me pick you up and we'll go. So we went to Topgolf, and it was like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning, and we drank. We had a pitcher of beer in the morning, And then when we went to my friend's house,
Yeah, that's a good way to start a morning.
I was like, yeah. And then we drank like nothing but booze all day long up until the Super Bowl. So I was like day drunk. And then the next day I was like, okay, whatever. I was just drinking water, not by like, oh, I need to drink water because I'm trying to stop soda. But I was kind of like, wait. It took me a couple days and I was like, I don't have a migraine. I kicked it. I did it. Thanks, booze. Like, it worked. So yeah, I guess addiction would be soda, but I'm working on that, and Jackie knows I've been doing really good. She's keeping me in check. I'll have a soda with my lunch.
Yeah,
It's like I'm not an idiot. Okay, I'm not trying to die, but you know,
It's called balance.
right.
Yeah.
But my first collection, I've never collected anything until these Funko Pops. So the first pop that I got was a Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. Some guy that I barely knew at Walmart, he came to my birthday party when I turned 21, and he brought me the Vegeta Pop. And he goes, hey, I don't know if you collect these kind of things, but I know you like Dragon Ball Z. Here's this. Cool. No big deal. This is awesome, right? And all right, whatever. Yeah, I still have it. Yeah, it's my first pop ever. Well, no, it's not my first pop ever. It's one of the first ones that kind of...
I thought it was your first one, though.
Yeah, that's why I was like, wait. So my first pop ever actually is... It was a Paul Stanley, the lead singer of Kiss. That girl that was cheating on me the whole time, she got me a Kiss pop doll. But I was like, oh, okay, cool. I threw away the box because like I just want the little figure.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool, whatever. So then when I moved out, you know, I totally forgot I even had this thing. So I remember like it wasn't until I think we moved into these apartments where my mom was like, hey, I found this little mono that you have, you know, here and this and that. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, whatever, and kept it. But yeah, my pop addiction really started growing with that Vegeta, because I got the Vegeta and I was like, oh, there's more. They have all the other characters. So I was like, oh, maybe eventually get them. Christmas and birthdays, started getting a couple from Leslie. Like, oh, there's WWE ones? Oh, cool. Oh, they have Sailor Moon ones?
Do they have a Buddha one? I want a Buddha one.
Yeah, they do. I think it's like what they call vaulted. Like,
really?
They have religious figures and stuff. They have like anything you can think of, bro. But yeah, so then it was just like, oh, well, this one's cool. Well, this one actually will complete this little series, so I think I'll buy this one. Wait, this one, what's a Chase exclusive? Like, what? And that's kind of where it came in, and now I have over almost 200, and
Jesus.
my estimated value, because there's a website called Pop Price Guide, or in the community, PPG for short, and my estimated PPG is at almost $1,600 for all my pops, and that's commons, exclusives, rare ones, and this.
They're like the new Beanie Babies.
Pretty much, yeah. I was like, and people go nuts for these things.
So this is digresses, but it's to go back into pops. But are Beanie Babies still as lucrative as they were back in the day?
I think they're still worth a lot of money. I don't know.
It depends on someone buying them, right? Like the proximity of what they're worth.
Because
is what it is, but you have to find someone to pay that, right?
Yeah, because the availability now of Beanie Babies is like few and far in between.
It's even more so, right? Yeah, because they stopped making it.
But it's like they still have value, but it's not as valuable as it was when the craze was back in the day.
Right.
Like what these pops are. Like these pops are going to end up being worth nothing. You know, eventually.
Right.
Yeah, you know, the popularity is going to die down, but for the time being, this is really cool. And then like that.
I'm not trying to stomp. I'm just.
No, I understand. Yeah.
Okay.
So like the whole thing with this PPG website is because there's.
You're a nervous book opener.
I guess so.
You know how many times you've done that? Like,
yeah,
you're gonna read it or something?
Like,
you try to check it out?
There's a book on the table that I've been like, flip through the pages. That's how I was with the knife. That's why I said, let me put this back. Before we started recording, he had a switchblade on here, and I was all, so let me put it behind me.
I'm just like, oh, okay, dude.
Right, fuck.
Have some fun, I guess.
Right. So that pop price guy, because if you see pops at the store, they're like $10, $12, just regular, right? Unless it's considered an exclusive, then it's maybe $15. And so I was like, okay, so that's how much I bought it for. But then this is an estimated worth. There's not like some magical genie. This is worth 100. This is worth like that Paul Stanley one that I had.
Right.
Because there's a different, because some people collect them out of the box, some people collect them in the box, but they're worth more if they're in the box.
Sure.
So that Paul Stanley that I had, when I started getting in, I was like, oh yeah, here's the little Paul Stanley one I have. Oh, but I don't have the box. Ended up being worth almost $100 just for that one pop alone. And I'm like,
even out of the box?
No, not out of the box. So that's why I was like, fuck, like damn, if I knew then what I knew now, kind of thing. So I'm like, fuck. so like yeah, these things like, but sometimes like because there's like for WWE, there's a lot of cool WWE ones that are considered rare, but they're worth like 100, 200, 300 bucks, and I'm like fuck. Like there's a I haven't checked on it recently, but the Eddard Stark. There's a pop of him that's an exclusive when he's decapitated, where it's like his head with the blood coming out, and then it's his body. So it's kind of like a taller box because it shows like kind of like emphasizing that he's decapitated. It's worth almost $1,100.
Oh my god!
The most expensive pop in the world, still that I'm pretty sure, is a holographic Darth Maul from Star Wars. Like it's blue and it glows in the dark. That one's worth almost $4,000.
That's insane.
And that's its estimated value, bro. Like, that's not even like, this is $4,000.
Well, but that's just saying, like, you could ask this, and that's reasonable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if somebody had it, like, hey, who wants this pop? Because, I mean, people want to go out and collect all of them of a series. Because that's how I am. Like, with WWE, I don't have every WWE pop, because the ones I'm missing are the exclusives. Like, I'm missing a CM Punk one, where he's in pink tights. That one's worth like 200, 300 bucks. And I'm like, man, I really don't want to pay $200 for a toy that's going to collect dust in my closet. And that's kind of how I am. But I'm like, but if I found it like at a yard sale or something for $10, fuck yeah.
Oh yeah, well, why not?
Exactly. But
I'm the same way.
yeah, but I guess that's my collection. And, you know, that's my first collection because I never collected anything. So it's these pops that I'm really into.
We've combined them, the two.
Addiction and
collection. I don't remember my first addiction. It was definitely either alcohol or cigarettes. And I want to say that it was cigarettes before alcohol because it's a long story. My friend came over one time. It was like 9th grade, and we used to live in Wichita Falls, and we were military brats, and somehow he came and visited for like the weekend. He brought like a carton of cigarettes. We snuck out of my window and we're smoking cigarettes. He was trying to show me how to smoke, and my dad had caught us, you know. And then it smelled like smoke. And my buddy brought this burning cigarette back into the room. Like we were halfway up when my dad came in. We ran inside through the window. It was like so obvious, right?
Right.
Like, he's like, "What are you doing?" Running onto the window, and then my buddy had this lit cigarette in his hand, so busted right out the back. And my friend had a carton though, and we only had this pack, so my dad took the pack, and so I just remember that was towards the end of my parents' marriage though, because they had split up like a couple months later after that. And my friend had moved. Well, he didn't live there anyways. But I ended up finding the pack, and like I just remember sitting on the back and like just smoking one after one, just trying to learn how to smoke because. And I ended up getting sick the first time, you know, a couple of them, and then but I just kept trying, you know, teaching myself how to smoke. It's all stupid, right? But at the same time, that was all, my parents had split up. This is getting deep. My parents had split up. My dad had moved out. My mom was going out a lot. What had happened was my mom had cheated on my dad. So she had like a boyfriend at the time. My dad had moved out, and then she was always going out to see him. So I was always at home by myself. It's funny because every day my mom going out, which was like every night, she would buy a Little Caesars pizza.
Oh, really?
Right? Like, every night. That was just dinner. Little Caesars pizza. And so it's funny now because, like, when Mrs. Teach has to go out or so, like, goes out of town or something, I'm like, hey, can we go get a Little Caesars pizza? And she's like, why do you always want Little Caesars pizza when I leave? I'm like, oh, fuck. I think it's, like, abandonment issues. Like, anytime someone leaves, I feel like I'm going to be alone. Little Caesars pizza.
Right.
Like, that's my comfort food from being abandoned. So anyway, so at the same time with the cigarettes, we also had a bar that my grandfather had like built, and you know he passed away, but we had the bar in the house and we had alcohol there. So I was also doing the alcohol. So I was experimenting with alcohol and the cigarettes. So I don't recall. I remember getting bad hangovers and getting sick off cigarettes, so I don't know which one I got addicted to first. Right. Because I'm still to this day drinking and smoking.
Yeah, I was like... Yeah.
So equally both. I don't know. It's either cigarettes or alcohol. I don't recall. First items I collected... to be honest...
Panties? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. Nope, I'm committed relationship, one pennies. So, not at all. I think what I actually did, the only thing I ever did collect were WWF action figures. I used to, for Christmas and for birthdays, they would always buy, and KB Toys was the thing.
Oh, I remember KB
Ingram
Toys,
back
yeah.
in the day. So
Right
that
there
was
in
like,
the corner.
Yeah, that was my, yeah. Now it's like a hip hop store.
Yeah, it's called like Freestyle or something.
Weird.
Yeah.
It's not a toy store anymore, but I remember having I had the set where it was like a case, but then you could flip the top and put the ring on it with the red ropes and everything to like play with the toys.
Mm-hmm.
And every time like I got, good grades or my birthday or Christmas, I got WW. And I was more WWF. And I didn't really like WCW, but I still would fuck with them if I got them.
Right.
So I had I had all of them. I had now I can't even Sting.
Sting,
I had
yes.
Sting, I had Kane, I had like the Blue Meanie, I had like 3 Undertakers and like 5 Rocks and like
Right.
Stone Cold. All those at the time, I guess it was like early 90s.
HBK.
Well, I guess like mid 90s, early 2000s maybe. I used to collect those. I guess that was, and that's the only, I don't think I collect anything anymore. Empty liquor bottles.
Surprisingly, I never had any WWE toys growing up.
I think I'm a little older than you in that sense. That's
Well,
where
like
that
even
came
still,
from.
like still to this day, like I never like when I got in, because I got into it in 7th grade. That's when I started watching wrestling. I didn't get my first WWE toy until last year's Christmas. Not 2017 Christmas, 2016 Christmas. Because it was always like, me and my brother always said that, we would be wrestlers and this and that when we started watching it. And we always said we wanted the tag team belts, like the toy belts you would see at Walmart or whatever. So, and we'd always ask my parents, no, that's stupid, you guys aren't going to play with that, this and that. And we totally had forgotten about them, right? Like, the whole championship belt thing was whatever. So, on Christmas 2016, my dad came out of the room and goes, oh, wait, hold on, I got one more present for the boys. And Leslie's there, we're older now, we're men, we have beards, we're fucking... So my dad comes out with 2 wrapped gifts, and he goes, here, this is for you guys. And my dad has a smug little grin on his face, and we're like, okay. We open it up, and then me and my brother went, no way! Like, we were like, oh my god! They're the modern championship belts for the tag teams.
Yeah.
But me and my brother were like, holy shit!
It finally happened.
We're like, oh, and like we fucking ripped it out of the package. We're like, yes!
That's pretty cool, though.
And then my dad's all cracking up. My mom was like, you guys actually like that?
She's probably telling babe, don't get him that.
Yeah, so my dad's like dying. My dad is so happy, and then this is he needed a win. We were trying to give him as many wins because that was the year his father passed away. So it's like and me and my brother were like, yeah, we're taking all these selfies with the belt, and my mom is like, you two actually like that? And we're like, yes, this is awesome. And she goes, man, I was with your dad at the store, and he saw 2 of them, and he goes, oh, I'm gonna get these for Trey and Justin. And I kept telling him, no, don't buy that. That's so stupid. He goes, no, fuck you. I'm buying these belts.
Don't take this the wrong way. But
No, you're good.
I always felt like the way you talked about your dad, not that he was, but I always have this connotation of your dad as being like this kind of meaner, kind of colder kind of dad presence.
Yeah.
He kind of reminds me of my grandfather. So hearing this story is really kind of heartwarming because it's kind of like, that's awesome,
Yeah, he's really, like, still to this day, I mean, he's mostly angry, he's always sort of like, but there's little moments like that. That's what I'm saying. It's like that I really cherish the most with my dad.
Yeah.
It's because to see him smile was a rare occasion. To see him
for him as a grown ass man to buy his grown ass men
sons fucking WWE
toy
belts.
belt. That's
it's all
pretty
cheap
cool.
plastic and everything like that.
But that it's the thought. It's like because he knows how much you'll like that.
Exactly.
Like he remembers that. Oh, that's awesome.
So that was like the dopest Christmas gift.
That's really
fucking.
cool.
And I got cologne. I got work clothes. I got like
whatever.
I got technology, and I'm like, fuck yeah! Fucking cheap ass little belt. So that was pretty cool. I digress on that one.
Cool.
What's the last question we have?
All right, the last one was biggest turn on off.
Oh, turn off the switch. Biggest turn off, and I'll say this, and I don't judge people that do it, but for me, on an actual standpoint,
Don't say black people.
no,
I'm just kidding.
no, it's not a race.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I was like, wait, no.
I'm just kidding.
My biggest turnoff is smoking and drug use.
Oh fuck.
I was like,
How are we
that's
friends?
No, I'm not saying like I can't be friends with them. I'm saying
Yeah,
I can't.
yeah.
I dated a girl who was a big pothead. She loved
right,
smoking
right.
weed, but it was just like she always smelled like it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying
No,
this
no,
is
I get that. I
Yeah,
respect that. I really can.
is like
Yeah.
and just she was very forgetful. Like when she was high.
Yeah.
And I think she was kind of, and again, I've never been high, so I don't know. So it's like, I think she was maybe like over exaggerating being high, because she's like, oh, I forgot I was high. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know what happens when I'm
It
high.
becomes an excuse.
Yeah. So it's like, it was kind of like I would go to her house to pick her up for a date. Oh, well, I have to go to work. I'm sorry, I forgot. You told me when I was high. And I'm like, well, shit. So it's like that really got into it. And at the same time, I was fucking her and fucking some other chick. So I was kind of like, whatever. I'm going with the chick that doesn't smoke. But yeah, smoking and doing drugs is just, it's not my thing. I wouldn't be into a girl. I'm not into girls that do that.
Absolutely.
I can't, it's not that I can't be friends with them.
To be
I just-
honest, I piggyback. I'm not going to take that as my answer, but I totally understand that too, because I don't like when they're too much into it either, because it's like, well, I can't support your shit too. Like,
right. So it's like, it's never been my thing, because like I said, I've never personally been interested by it. I don't want to be with a girl like, as for biggest turn on, it's hard to say. For the, it's like,
that's hard. It's hard to say, because there's a lot of different aspects.
and as you get older, there's a lot of different things that turn you on too.
Right.
It's like for the longest time, like, I don't know if you call it a turn on, but I was really into like, always wanted to like come on tits. It's like,
okay, right, and that's a section of things that get turned.
yeah,
on.
so it's like, oh yeah, this is fucking awesome.
It's like what the most carnal sense, or like, yeah, because
fucking get your tits over here, like,
yeah.
But I don't know, like, I guess like really thinking about it, it's like I don't know like what's a turn on now, because like now I'm just like to the point where I'm like the other night, like Leslie and I were just chilling in the living room. I think it was Monday night. Yeah, I think it was. No, it wasn't last night. Damn, I don't remember what it was. But me and Leslie were just in the living room, and I'm just there, and my dick just goes whoop, just goes up, and I'm like, "You want to have sex?" And she was like, "Right now?" I'm like, "Yeah, fuck it, why not?" So she's like, "Oh, okay."
It's
Fucked.
funny
And
because me and Miss Teach, I'm like, it's fucking Wednesday. What do you think this is the weekend? What's wrong with you? Like, I gotta get up in the
no,
morning.
don't get me wrong. Because Leslie is 90% more hornier than I am.
Yeah.
So it's like there's like I'm fucking laying in bed and like I get up, like I cuddle next to her, right? And my dick's near her butt, but I'm not thinking much of it. I'm like, this is really comfy. I have the love of my life in my arms. Oh, nothing could be better. And she starts rubbing her butt, and I'm like, oh, babe, you ruined the moment.
Everything's about sex with you.
Yes. I'm like, man. And she's like, what? Just come on, let's just do it. Like, I'm like, no, I'm tired. I don't want to. I have a headache. I gotta work in the morning. Come on. And then she's all starts trying to grab at it. I'm like, get off me.
I think I've mentioned this before, but I'm like, if you're really that into it, start sucking my dick. I mean, if you really are about it, just start sucking it, because I will start fucking you.
Right.
Some part of you, if you're sucking it. But if you're not about to suck my dick, then just stop.
Right. And don't get me wrong, there's times where her attempts work, where she's kind of playing with that and like gets me that right way, where I'm like, okay. But then she's all like, well, come on, well, you gotta get me revved up. I'm like, no.
I'm like, no,
Yeah.
you're propositioning me. Like,
Yeah, you wanted
need to rev
this.
me up.
So I rammed it in you. Ow! Shut up. Like,
Yeah.
this is what you wanted. Like, your body will take over and lubricate itself. So,
Love science.
yeah, right. It's like the hormones and da da da. So it's like, yeah. So it's like, shut up. No, you don't get the fingers. You don't get any extra touching. You
Right.
like, you don't get the special goods.
That's the hardest part. I think, like, with this with the heterosexual relationship. I guess lesbians probably have it the best, because they just are all about the lovey-dovey fingering and foreplay stuff. But I'm all into foreplay too. I actually like more foreplay than.
Nah, I just need to get the job done.
I like to be honest. I like foreplay almost more than the insertion. But there are times where I just wanted to like get it in. But I know that she's not into it like that because she's, you know, it's you gotta get it revved up and
I don't,
you know this and that.
See,
so that's why I'm just like no, because I don't want to have to go down here for like 20 minutes and like get it all ready and like.
Because see, the thing is, sometimes because like when I get in the mood, I'm like, oh, like I'm in the mood.
Right.
And so like sometimes the foreplay is really good because foreplay is nice. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I don't like the foreplay because then like I said, like I've said this many times. Who am I trying to impress now? So yeah, when we first started dating, I would jerk off before she would come over. I would really pace myself with my strokes as not to come early. We've been living together now for many years, and I'm just kind of like, fuck you. Like, put it in, 2 thrusts. Ugh, fuck. I'm going to bed. I ain't got time for this shit. So it's like, I don't like the foreplay so much because I really get revved up, and it's like I can't even get any stroke game in because once I put it in, because this is what it was leading up to. Yes.
That's true. That's true.
So it's like, oh.
I get that too.
And it's like, and I can't, and like really it was something that I want to do a lot is just like, but, because when I get in the mood, I get really like, I talk myself up and I'm like, oh yeah, like after I'm done, I'm going to fuck you some more. Like, oh, we're doing rounds tonight and this and that. I come, oh.
You ready for the king of the jungle?
Fuck it.
You're gonna get.
So this is me. So this is me after every sexcapade that we have. So I get up, get off of her, right? I'm all, and I have to be a guy. I fucking throw her leg over, like, and I fucking go into the doorway, and I'm like this.
What the fuck?
Fuck me! Oh my god! Fucking take the condom, I go throw it away, wipe my dick off with some like towel or something that's on the floor. I sit in bed like this, fucking defeated. Oh my god. And then she gets all into it, and then she gets all up on me. Oh, we're gonna do rounds, baby? And I'm like, get the fuck off me. Oh, what the fuck? Like, oh
my. Give me daddy heat.
Yeah, I'm like, shit. Who do you think I am? Fucking Don Juan over here? Get off of me, man. It's like my nuts exploded everything that's been built up inside of them. So it's like, all right, you ain't getting rounds from me. I know what I said. Because that's the thing, too, is like in the heat of the moment, I'm going to be like, man, just fucking, like, let me just come all over you and come all over the bed and this and that. And I'm like, but then on that, I'm like, no, because then I got to clean that shit up.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then that just gets really messy. So I'm like,
yeah. It's different. I am
So turn off, turn on.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, just...
I got off really on a tangent there.
True. I had more to say, but that's okay.
No, say it.
No, I'm all about I enjoy foreplay a lot. Like, I really like... 69 is my favorite position because it's just mutual love right there. Like,
right,
everyone's getting off on that. But sometimes I don't want to. And a lot of times, and that's where jerking off comes in handy, because you just kind of want to bust a nut. You don't have to, like, you know, sit there for... It's easy. See, here's the thing, too, is me going down on Mrs. Teach, I just have to go down her. You know, that's all that can really happen with positions.
Right.
Versus, usually if I'm going down on her, I mean, if she's going down on me, we are 69ing, or she's positioned in a way where I can still play with her. So she's still getting off, right? But I don't get off going down on her because I'm not going to be fucking...
You're just there.
I'm not going to have my ass in her face. Like, going down on her, that's fucking weird. Like, that's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's horrible.
You're all...
I don't even think about it either. Like, so it's horrible. So that's not going to happen. So, but I do like going down. You know, I like giving head. That sounds weird too, but I do. God damn it. But I gotta be like really in the mood, and a lot of times I'm like, I mean, I'll fuck you, but I'm not really worried about how much you're into it, because I'm gonna be quick about it too. Because just like if I was jerking off, like sometimes she's into that too, so she's like, yeah, that's cool, like. I just want to do it quick too. I just want to go to sleep. Like, it's just like a quick, I'm like, okay, well, if we understand that it's not going to be like rounds or it's not going to be like this big production, that's cool.
This big production.
Anyways, so that's that. Okay, my turn on and turn off. Mine's not as sexual, David. I'm sorry. But,
yeah, like, I really
my biggest turn off is probably clinginess. But clinginess in the sense that, so like Mrs. Teach is clingy, but she's clingy in the sense that I realize the clinginess is specific to me. Like, she's clingy just because, like, it's the love for me, this and that. I don't like the universal clinginess that when you first, like, Mrs. Cheech has developed a clinginess with me. Like, when we first met, she was not clingy. She was a normal girl that was like, text me a lot, and sometimes I wouldn't text her back. I'd just be like, I would be in class, I'm like, I don't got time to text back, whatever. I was being a dick or whatever, and she wouldn't bug me about it. She wouldn't text back and be like, excuse me, like,
Right.
Or and she wouldn't, like, when I would text back later, be like, oh, now you're open, are you free? Or, like, give me shit about it.
Yeah.
It would just be like, okay, cool, like, not even okay, cool, we just pick up where we left off.
Exactly.
It wasn't clingy then. Just clingy now, only because it's kind of a cutesy thing.
Right.
It's not the same clinginess. That type of clinginess, though, that initial bullshit that I just explained, that is the ultimate turnoff. And I think that's why I've never had really a lot of long-term relationships, because usually that happens. I mean, once you first express interest in a female or, in a relationship, as soon as that aspect of you don't text back right away and they kind of give you shit about it, either they initiate it first and be like, excuse me,
Right.
That's unattractive. Or if I wait till all day, if I need all day and I text you back later in the night, you're like, oh, okay, like bring it up, like, that's unattractive. That's the biggest turn off. I hate that shit. Biggest turn on, I think. Oh.
That was creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like little kid
Children.
sounds. Yeah.
Have you heard the Alexas laughing?
I saw it, but it didn't happen to
It's
me.
never happened to me.
Yeah.
We've had times where randomly, like late at night, it'll go, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. But like, no one says anything.
That's fucking ugly.
Yeah.
I would cry.
That's
That's my
weird.
fear. So the only thing with the Alexa that happens to me is like I'll be like, Alexa, turn off the lights, and it will do it, right? But usually, because I know you don't have that, right, with the lights.
No.
So after you tell her to do it, she'll go, okay, and like as it's happening. So there's times where I'm like, Alexa, turn off kitchen or turn off bedroom, and it'll be like 10, 15 minutes. Okay, and then like it says it delayed, but I know she's saying okay to the request.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of creepy just to be there. Okay.
We've done it. No one's asked anything. TV's off even. We're just like laying in bed and kind of like talking, but like it can't hear us.
Right.
And it'll just, all we hear is, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Or I didn't catch that. It says that like if you say it wrong, we're like, what the fuck? Like,
Right, yeah.
No one has said anything. No one even said like anything close to Alexa. Anyways, my biggest turn on not lately, but overall, when Mrs. Teach, I kind of get off when she speaks like Korean. Like when she's talking to her family, not like when she's talking to someone in Korean, she sounds so like worldly. Like it's really attractive that like she has like such a grasp on like our worlds, like and there's a Western sense, and like this total other world that I have no idea about.
Right.
Like I've never even I've had glimpses of it living there, but I don't even know because I haven't lived there. It was only for like 3 weeks, but she's like totally advanced in both of them. That's just really like attractive. I kind of get turned on when she's like blah 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 blah, like all in Korean, like, and I'm just like, I kind of want to put it in you right now. Like, I don't know, like, can you keep speaking Korean? Like, it's not like it's a romantic language or like it sounds very this or that, but it's just like, I don't know, that's just attractive. Like, yeah.
Yeah, no, that like when Leslie like says like, because Leslie doesn't speak Spanish, but like when Leslie says like some words in Spanish or she has that kind of an accent to it, I'm like, ooh, hey,
yeah,
get over here, señorita. Hey, hello, hola.
I don't know if it's an exotic thing because she doesn't. I don't think of Mrs. Teach as exotic anymore either because she's not. You know what I'm saying? Like exotic.
Yeah.
Like it's not like everything's like so because she's
accustomed. You're not accustomed
totally
to
assimilated. Like even when I met her, there are little things she's like, oh, in Korea we do this, and it's like, okay, whatever. But I don't know. It's this aspect of her just knowing, having a whole other world that she's privy to that I'm not, or like, I don't know. It's just kind of cool to. I don't know. It's sexy.
Yeah. No.
Damn, this is a 3-hour episode.
About to be a 3-hour episode. If
Holy
y'all.
Shit.
But you know what? This will be the true testament to our real fans. Yeah, that's pretty much all we got for this episode. If you guys listened to it all the way, you really appreciate it. Almost 3 hours in. really appreciate the support we got for the most recent episodes. I'm tired of saying thank you for your patience because it's just like,
What do you mean?
Because I always say like, well, thanks for waiting for the next episode, or like, hey, it's finally up. I'm just kind of like, whatever. Like, you guys like it, hopefully. So.
We're still making it. It won't be as short as of episodes because we're still making them.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm getting really into this. I'm really excited how far it's come. And, you know, we're on iTunes. I guess we got rejected by Spotify because I haven't heard anything back from them. So, so I guess Spotify is not going to be a move, but right now. But, well, as always, I've been David Clare.
I'm the Teach. Good night.
No, don't do it. No. No, I'm a virgin. No, I'm a virgin. No.